have the stand that I use for the tube in front of me. You know, I don't have enough space to like put the camera right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be slightly askew.
Okay, this looks very professional. You know?
Thank you.
Like a streamer.
Right. Get that thing. Bless you. I got the Rona.
Alright, bat signals out. Bat signals out. We got Tesla Rock.
Tesla
Chris
Rock,
H.
you're the first one. Chris H, start your second. Summertime, June 1st. You fish catch on Animal Crossing.
that?
Yeah.
June.
The shark season. You go catch great white sharks, hammerhead sharks. What's up, Claudio?
My man. Okay, all the things. Let's double check the site. Everything looks good. All right. Let's go to our faces. Our faces are out there now. What's up,
Hello.
everybody? Thank you for joining us for this little live stream. We're getting set up here.
Dave, you're a little quiet.
Oh,
Just a little quiet.
a wee bit. How's
There
that?
you go. Now you're
Okay.
fine.
Cool.
Did you not do anything?
No, I didn't do anything at all.
All right.
I just wasn't talking that loud
Hey.
before.
Man, that new camera looks real good on the live stream.
Which
The
one?
color looks pretty good too.
Yours?
Yeah.
Word up.
I'm
All
excited
right.
about that.
Looks like we're rolling and everything. Let's
do it.
go ahead and start getting our amazingly stable Adobe Audition program running. I am
rolling.
I am rolling.
Test 1, 2.
Just everybody keep an eye on your levels throughout.
I am rolling.
If
Yeah,
there's-
just keep an eye on your levels.
Yeah,
as we're
make sure it
going.
doesn't stop in the middle or anything like that. And,
Yep.
So everybody's rolling, right?
Rolling.
All right, we're gonna do a sync clap. It will be 1, 2, 3, clap. You ready? 1, 2,
Ready.
3. And I think Chris is frozen.
Oh, what happened to him?
I screwed it up. All right, 1 second. Pausing. Off to a great start, guys. All right.
There we go. All right, let's do one more. Did you clap
All right.
or no?
I clapped.
You did.
Okay.
Let's do it one more time just to make sure,
I'm ready.
just for fun. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Perfect.
We did it,
Cool.
team.
If we lose any
All right,
video
that's the
or anything
podcast.
during,
All right, thanks everyone.
as long as we're good on audio, if we lose any video during,
Yeah.
we'll just keep going. Just feel free to
Yeah.
fix or whatever. No big deal. Again, it's about the audio, so we're good. We got people in here now. We got Tesla Rock, Chris H, Claudio, Amin. Hopefully I got that right.
Amen.
Cons, Marcus, Todd, Nate. All right.
Hello, everyone.
Nate is eating lunch and watching the podcast. This is it.
Appreciate it.
Oh, Phil is here. Phil's going to be on. Oh, remind me,
Phil,
when we get
Phil.
started,
Hey,
I'm going
hey.
to talk about who's going to be on the show coming up.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. You good? Everybody good? You good, Matt?
Yeah.
You good?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. What's up, and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
I'm Matt, and joining us today are two legends within the industry, Yeah, I said legends.
about
Mr.
that?
Gavin Shapiro and Mr. Chris Vranos.
Hey, what's up? I'm Gavin.
How are you? I'm Chris.
And Mograph is a supplement to our site, mograph.com, which is a motion graphics tutorial site with tutorials, plugins, podcasts, and other Mograph stuff. And on the show, we talk about everything ranging from motion graphics to Cinema 4D, After Effects, plugins, render engines, doing business, doing taxes, being a contractor, or working for the man. You can email us.
You always take a breath.
info@mograph.com. Let us know what you think about the show. Questions, comments, concerns, queries, grievances, all sorts of topic ideas. Send them in. We want to know. Like that one we got a few weeks ago. It had like over 9,000 topics on it. It was nice.
9,000.
We couldn't get to all of. I mean, we didn't have a good answer for all of them. I'd say it's pretty bad advice on most of it, but we'll try and give you our best bad advice. So just send it over. You're the producer.
You're the producer.
This is for you,
not
man.
us.
This is for, I did this for you. Anyway, been inside too long.
Right?
I did,
we
however,
all?
wear a pair of jeans for the first time in 3 months yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
So,
I haven't been in your pajama pants.
guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.
That's pretty serious, man.
I actually wasn't home all weekend. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Went to my brother's house, went swimming all day, and then went out to my parents' land, just hung out.
Rub
It was
your
fun.
Corona all over
Sounds
everything.
nice.
Yeah. Nah, the corona's gone.
Gone. Mm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got a really good show for you today, but we do have some things we want to take care of first. Let's
Yeah.
get the bad news out of the way first.
Get the bad news, the sad news. As
Yeah.
you've probably noticed, it's June 1st. And
Mhm.
Camp Mograph tickets were supposed to go on sale today.
Mhm.
It was a really hard decision, but we've decided to postpone it a year to October 2021. We're really, really sad about that. We even tried to see if we could work it out to be a little bit earlier in the 2021, but unfortunately, in order to stick to the same place and stuff, we couldn't. But we are incredibly grateful for all of our sponsors who are
man.
still sticking with us.
Every
and,
sponsor is staying on board.
yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like that's like, okay, we're giving you an out, we'll give you your money back, whatever, But they're like, no, we support you, we support the cause, we support Camp Mograph, And I just got to give a huge shout out to every single person who has been so positive about it.
Yeah.
Because I was really worried, that we were going to get a bunch of backlash for it, because it is October, we never know what's going to happen,
Right.
Who knows there could be a vaccine next week. Who knows,
Or
but
there
it's
could be another wave. You never know.
Or there could be another wave or something, So we just wanted to, I just wanted to give a big thanks to everyone who's been very supportive in the decision that we made. I was really worried about a bunch of backlash, and we didn't get any at all. Everyone was just like, I think that's the best idea.
A lot of people
I
said,
feel
like,
bad.
I'm going to go now because it is the
Yeah.
following year.
Yeah.
So,
So, I wanted to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors. Thank you so much to everyone for supporting Camp Mograph, even though it's now going to be 2 years in the making
Right.
for this next one,
Yeah.
but that just means it's going to be that much better. So of course our village sponsors, Maxon, Video Copilot, and Otoy. Our gold level sponsors, Grayscale Gorilla and Minimal Massive, and our bronze level sponsors, A Scripts and School of Motion. So thanks to everyone for supporting Camp Mograph. We are so sad that it's not going to happen this year, but who knows? Maybe something will come up. We'll keep an ear out or something.
Yeah, the thing
I don't
is
know.
that it's easier, and it seems like it's been easier for everybody to just push things 1 year. Because if you push things half a year, then you're displacing someone else who had their thing at that time. And then the place that was booking things gets all fumbled up. And then it's like, okay, well, you move something to May. That was in October. Do you do the next one in October? Or do you do the next one in May?
Yeah.
And it just seems like, for the most part, if you just say, you know what, 2020's canceled.
Yeah.
You just
2020 has basically been canceled.
push it
Everything
down the
has been
road.
canceled.
But it's
You
so
know?
great that everybody stayed on board because, we had to put down payments on things and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't easy. We had some ticketing issues with Eventbrite and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's just easier to do that way. And we're so glad everyone stayed on board so that we didn't have to end up, you know, being, you know, negative in the bank,
right.
you know, as far as camp goes. You know, to keep this thing alive, keep it moving, and to everybody who is going to come, who is an instructor, you know, or counselors and stuff too.
Yeah, nothing's changing. We've talked to all of our, and that was the first initial push to decide to cancel it. We kind of felt out all of our instructors and, you know, how they felt about it, and everyone was like, yeah, I would feel more comfortable actually doing it the next year. And so, you know, that made us feel pretty good about doing it. But everyone's still on board. We've got all the same instructors, all the same fireside chat people, just a year later. So.
And, you know, I think Beeple put it best. He said, I can't imagine a scenario where you get to October of this year.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, darn, we should have done this because everything's going so great right now in this country. Like, you know.
I didn't realize how much stress I had, like how much anxiety I had about camp being this year until we canceled it. And like, it was like a big weight off, you know, because I was so worried about, I mean, the safety of all of our campers is number one. And I didn't want anyone to like risk getting sick or risk getting other people sick or something like that, you know? Yeah. So I don't know. It was, I think it was the best decision. So,
yeah.
So thanks to everyone who's been supportive and thanks to our sponsors.
Yeah.
Camp Mograph 2020 version 2 _ final.
2020.2. Yeah. We should have a big banner that says that, you know? Well, then everybody shows up.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
V
Final.
V2
or it
final
actually says 2020, and then we have like a big marker streak over it with like a piece of paper with a 1 on it. You know, like we had already printed off the banners.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know.
Yeah, and a special shout out to EJ too, for putting that render video in his newsletter. That video went over very well. We hadn't actually posted it last week at this time. Mm-hmm. Man, the amount of comments. I've never seen like that many comments on a video. Like hits are one thing, but when you get a lot of comments, like that, it feels good to get feedback.
Everyone's giving you crap because, you know, Arnold does have a GPU renderer.
It's a 30,000 foot view, y'all. I know that technically there's a switch that will turn on GPU rendering in Arnold, but this is the 30,000 foot view. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. And as long as you comment in a nice way about it, I won't delete your comment. It's the ones that are like, wrong, you're so wrong. It's like, dude, it's just a YouTube video. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I love that video, man.
Thanks.
I really liked it a lot. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
A lot of people, too many people like bicker about which is the best render engine. It was really nice to have someone just be the voice of reason and be like, it doesn't really matter that much as long as you're using it as a tool to get what you need done.
Yeah.
It really needed to be said. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to do some more of those soon. I got some fun ideas. And the only I'm moving things around a little bit in the schedule here. So we're doing things a little bit differently because I only have 2 links. I don't have much for Ravcock. So here's what I'm going to do. I just wanted to mention 2 links, and then we're going to get into the meat of the program. The number 1 link, did you see what David Brodeur did with deepfakes this week?
Oh man, that was insane.
Yeah,
that was crazy cool. So like so he took a. You want me to explain?
No, you explain. I'll pull up so we can watch it.
So, what he did was he took a render of his. He's been doing all these like kind of like stylized, characterized versions of like famous people and stuff like that. So I don't know who this one was. I think it was like 50 Cent or something like that.
It's 50.
50 Cent.
50.
50 Cent.
Say it right. 50.
So anyway, he took this. He took a video input of himself, like smiling and moving his head and stuff like that, and then was able to deep fake his his like still frame of this 50 Cent character. So go ahead and you'll see.
Well,
it's
that's
like
weird. I have it muted, but it's still doing it anyway. There we go. I didn't mean to bring it up. Yeah, look at that.
But it's like crazy. Like think about it. Like I was looking at this and I'm like, oh my gosh, this could be the future.
Yeah.
It's like you render out
one frame,
like or even like 5 or 6 frames, because he does have a little bit of weirdness when he blinks
Mhm.
and when the mouth opens. But if you were able to do like, say, 20 different still frames, so all you're rendering out is 20 frames, and then you can deep fake the entire like animation.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Oh,
amazing.
that's insane. That's so killer.
The only problem
So
right
smart.
now is like when you do deep fake, it's like it either works or it doesn't, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like that's the only problem. You can't be like, oh, well, we'll just make this one frame of this character and then we'll deep fake the whole thing, because you have the lack of control. I wonder if eventually it'll be like almost like I don't know, like an After Effects thing or plugin or something where you have a little more control, and if something doesn't work, you can figure out why it doesn't work and add more data into the mix.
Chris, I'm looking at you on that.
Yeah.
See, I mean, yeah, but like think about it this way. So if you've got, you know, normally what you're doing whenever you're doing animation and like mouth movements and stuff like that, you're creating like the ooh, ah, ee, all the different like facial expressions. And if you were able to go through and do that just as still frames and plug those into After Effects and say, all right, here you go. These are them. Now here's my reference video, you know, boom, go for it.
Yeah, that'd be it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Chris is working on it right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like closing down Unreal. Here we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Is that unfrozen now? There we go. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Nate says, so what's the difference between that and how Apple has the animated emojis? Oh, okay. So the animated emojis are tracking your face through the face recognition system on the phone. And so it actually knows where your face is. So it's moving things around. The difference is with this, he's giving it like literally like one still frame. You know, on the iPhone, that's actually a model. You know, it's a model of a giraffe or, you know, I love playing with those. And I pretend I'm a furry. We were all playing Halo this week, and it's like at one point we were all furries. I wish you would have been on it in the call, Matt. Like we all had the faces on it because we FaceTime. We do FaceTime chat while we're doing, you know, video chat while we're playing Halo, so we can all like see each other and hang out and talk, and we're all furries.
That's funny.
But yeah, the difference is those are 3D models, so it's moving that 3D model. The thing that we brought up with Brodeur is this is just one image, you know, because this could be an image of anything. This could be an image you find on the internet or something, and you can make it move with this. And most people have only used it for video, you know, unfortunately mostly porn. But fake videos of people doing things, you know, and then there's the whole discussion, and we've talked about this before, about is it dangerous, because then you can make it look like, you know, the president's just saying anything he wants, which is,
did you
how's
see
that
that deepfake where they stuck Trump's face onto a baby?
Yes.
And the lady, the mom was like, but you said that, you know, this, and then no.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
But he's you know, and I don't know if anybody, I feel like I'm surprised somebody hasn't already done this with deepfakes.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe somebody has, but this is the first time I've seen it. The other thing is that, you know, his video is very pixeled in this, and the reason is because you can only input 256 by 256 as the source, I guess. But it will get higher res and all that eventually. But I
pretty
just
cool though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exciting. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh man, this is the future right there.
And he posted it like 2 hours before we had a phone call, and so and I hadn't seen it yet. I wish I would have known, because I texted him back. I was like, dude, I would have asked you like 100 questions if I would have seen this ahead of time. So I want to see if he wants to come on the show maybe next month and talk about that a little bit. I did also want to mention our lineup coming up on the show.
Yeah.
Should have a newsletter going out finally this week, which will have a little bit more information on what we've been doing and what we've got coming up. There's some great new articles on the site. If you check it out on the, you know, Getting There almost redesigned site. High-end effects on an indie budget. You got to check this out. So the biggest claim to fame, I can say, this guy is the Stranger Things open. If you saw the Stranger Things open, you know it was done with the optical you know, and all of that stuff, the optical, what was it, sampling? I don't even know. Like, I don't even understand how the process worked and what was analog and what wasn't analog. But he's got this short film that's coming out, and it's called Proximity. It's on Amazon. I've watched about half of it. So check out the article on that. He'll also be on the show. I'm going to go to our live shows page just to tell you who's coming up. We've got next week. So that's next week. And then, so the guy who did the X Particles, who won the X Particles challenge, Jesper, he also did that video we were talking about with what was it? Not a BMW, or it was like an M6, something going through the desert. It was really popular in the Octane Facebook group. You know, it looked super, super hyper realistic, and it was a car going through the desert or something. That's 2 weeks from now. Teddy Gage, Rad Scientist, if you're into Slack, you know him. He'll be on the next week, and then we'll have Phil Roberts after that, Raid Zero.
Woo.
So we got a great lineup coming. Make sure you check that out, some of the other stuff. And we will also be having a little preview video of our Unreal class that's going to be coming out soon. So stay tuned with all
I've been
of
going
that
through
stuff.
it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
We're in beta testing mode, so that's exciting. We're getting there.
Yeah.
So that covers that. And then the only other link I wanted to mention is Liam did a Redshift quick tip, how to create a texture transform tool for Redshift that acts kind of like the Octane one. So
man,
make
that'd
you
be
check
awesome.
that out. I'll put that in the show notes as well.
That's one thing that bugs me about, you know. So I'll check that one out.
I think
always having to do like it always feels opposite for me. You know, it's like I get what they're doing. Like it's like if you put it to 2, you know, normally you think that okay, it should be twice as big, but no, you're actually putting 2 tiles worth or 3 tiles or whatever. You know.
Right.
Anyway.
So all that aside, let's talk about the two of you. And let's talk about your backgrounds.
Like, this is a pretty killer show, I gotta say, because you know just one of y'all would be good enough, but to have both of y'all on the show at the same time is pretty awesome.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
Well, thanks. I'm flattered.
So I
didn't
guess
expect that.
you know y'all know each other.
Yeah.
First of all,
pretty well.
Talk about that. How do the two of you know each other?
This is crazy because you would think that we were friends from the industry and we're not. We met in a boxing gym and we were just beating the crap out of each other for like weeks. Yeah.
That's funny.
And it was only after a couple of weeks of knowing Gavin that he told me he was an animator. I'm like, no way, I am too. And then I saw his reel and it was perfect for a job I was doing at RGA. So we got him in there.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was amazing. That's how I got in. I like telling people that's the only job I ever got by punching someone in the face.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
I was handsome before I met Gavin. This was the rearrangement.
Look at him now.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Disgusting.
Right there. Ding.
Motion graphics,
you know,
not
funny.
Even once.
Anytime I go out, because I'm so used to dealing with because I don't really go out. Anytime I'm talking, you know, I talk to a lot of people online, and this is what we do video and 3D animation and stuff. And I always have to keep myself like, for example, the other day I was getting my hair cut, and I wanted to say, so what's your job? Like, what do you do? Even though like. I've found myself doing that multiple times to people where I want to say, so what's your job? What do you work on? What I really mean is, what are your hobbies? You know,
right.
Because I want to know if they're into video and stuff.
Yeah. So Chris and I met through boxing, through beating each other up.
Man.
And now I'm a motion design director at RGA, so it worked out pretty okay for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I ended up quitting, so. Actually, one of the supervisors, I'll leave him nameless, we brought Gavin on this Cinema 4D project, and you guys know that Cinema 4D is like Gavin's thing, like he's ridiculously good at it. Yeah. He's like, hey, this guy is like Vranos 2.0, we don't need Vranos anymore.
Aww.
So sorry.
No, but I focused on the tech side of things. There was Snapchat and augmented reality, so.
Yeah, you do a lot of VR stuff, right?
A lot of nerd stuff. Yeah. I mean, a little bit.
Nerd stuff.
I'm really mostly more into just After Effects plugins these days. Like, kind of dips towards VR and AR, And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I think
okay.
it's because lockdown went well. So
I think you need, yeah. It's a fantastic. Okay, for those who don't know, Chris has created several very, very good After Effects plugins. One, of course, being Lockdown. The new plugin, it came out what, like 6 months ago?
I think October. Yeah.
Yeah. So fantastic plugin, as well as Composite Brush, which we also have and have used on several projects. And then I was checking out this other one, Paint and Stick. That looks super rad.
Yeah. Oh man, this thing. My computer is just overloading on resources, so you're just gonna get these beautiful frames of me.
Sorry.
I would just like to point out to everyone who's watching the video that he is running his Skype session through Unreal Engine so that he can green screen at the same time.
Yeah.
Chris is actually just a 3D model. It's a simulation of Chris Vranos. It's amazing.
He's AI right now.
Yeah.
The Unreal 5 engine in action
If
right
you
here.
ask too many questions, he'll like glitch out.
Freeze, yeah.
So you gotta go slow, or the computer, the CPU just overloads completely.
What are those AI paradoxes from Portal 2? You remember that? You like ask them a question and they can't figure it out and they explode.
That's funny. Yeah. I forgot where I was going with that, but I just
the new software. Tell us about the new software, or I don't know if it's new or the one that Matt was talking about.
Oh, the old software, Paint and Stick.
The old software.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was that was something I came up with a long time ago, back in like 2011 or something, and I pitched that to AE Scripts. They picked it up. I was the product manager, and it was cell animation and After Effects, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's super cool. Super cool.
Yeah.
And Lockdown, does Lockdown, I know you were doing a trial thing for a while during the pandemic. Is that already over at this point? Or is it...
that expires on June 7th, so there's really just a week left.
Yeah.
If you want
to try it out,
get in there. I'll send you a license.
Freaking killer. Like, it's
so
insanely good.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
How do you go about even doing something like that?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like, programming is just not my thing. So
well, it's not mine either. I've been making it up as I go along. Yeah. So when I did Paint and Stick in the early prototypes for Composite Brush, I hired a friend to build the prototype, just a desktop application. And then AE Scripts took over the development, and they actually knew what they were doing, and they built Paint and Stick. And then when I wanted to move on to something different and build Composite Brush on my own, I just hired a few C++ developers to do that. So I've just been product managing.
Oh, okay.
Huh, that's cool.
I mean, I wrote all the algorithms. Like, I know the color science, but...
Right.
Okay. So you do a little bit of... See, so like, for example, take what like Chris Schmidt does. You know, I know sometimes, because he's got his brothers to do all the big programming stuff, but he'll actually build it out in Espresso first and then throw it over to his brothers and say, all right, now do this.
Yeah, like, make it efficient. Yeah. All my plugins start out in either Unreal or Unity, and I just kind of mock it up because they have a lot of good tools and there's a lot of simple ways, and that just shows the point. For Lockdown, at one point, I was demonstrating making meshes in Maya just to make these basically just video mock-ups to show how it would work. And then to some extent, I was able to get the actual keying algorithms working within After Effects. Well, maybe not quite, but using some other side applications. And then I just pass it over to people who actually know what they're doing, and then they program it in C++, which is fast.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is there any programming you're able to take from like Unreal, like the C++ in Unreal, and pass it along to the plugin, or is it just a from scratch thing at that point?
No, it's purely for reference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, Gavin, if anybody came up to me and said, "Who is that guy?" I'd be like, the flamingo loopy thing.
That's me.
I've said that a couple times, and people are like,
or the puffins as well.
Yeah.
Do you have flamingos on your shirt right now?
Yeah, I actually do. I thought it'd be an appropriate shirt to wear.
That is very appropriate.
A bunch of little tiny flamingos. Buddy Jason got this for me.
Oh man, it's just like a Christopher Cross album.
But Yeah, I actually used to be the penguin guy. Like my whole life, I've just grown up loving penguins for whatever reason, getting penguin stuffed animals. But now people know me as the flamingo guy, which is funny. I guess I've kind of like accidentally rebranded myself. Flamingo guy now. But I'll take it. I like flamingos. They're hilarious.
You've been doing these loops, which like they're amazing loops.
Thank you.
You know,
Thanks a lot.
and like I don't even know where to begin to like. Yeah, exactly. Like it's so intricate. You know.
Well, when I close my eyes, that's all I see, and it's horrifying. So. No, but
this is what you dream about before you go to bed.
Yeah, this is all I know. It's really funny though, because I love looking through the comments, because some people are like, "This is amazing, I love this, it's so funny," and some people are like, "This is the most stressful thing I've ever seen," and I can't explain why, but I have so much anxiety, and they talk about like fever dreams they've had, and I think it's great the variety of reactions I get from these.
How do you start on a loop like that? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
This is just me totally guessing. But do you start by trying to get like the basic architecture of the scene, like the blocking to form?
Exactly. Yeah. So first it'll just be like the very basic idea, like in this one that you have, it's like going into a hole. So the way I did that, it's like I wish I could show it. I have a tutorial where in the beginning I show it, but basically it's like I wanted to have that scene. I wanted to have this is the normal version of it. I wanted to have the scene like fit inside of the scene, and then that would be the way that it gets to the point where it lines up again. Again, it's kind of hard to articulate, but I can I can give you a link and show you.
Is there a lot of instancing for that?
Yes, a lot of instances. So that's what it is. So I always build one scene, and then I make an instance of that or multiple instances of it, and put that somewhere else or in different scale or position or rotation or whatever, and then I try to get the camera to the other one so it looks the same. So that way, first I build the structure, I get the camera looping correctly, and then I can just start designing it and adding details and adding characters and picking a theme and that kind of stuff. But yeah, the first part is definitely blocking it out, getting the animation looping, getting the camera perfect.
When you watch these, do you see where the loop point is?
I know where it is, but I try to make them perfect. I try to make it so there's no jump at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better than others. Sometimes it's like the lighting won't match up correctly, so I kind of cheat it. Like in the one with all the triangles, it's called a Sierpinski triangle. In that one, I couldn't really get the lighting to match up, so I made it so that all the lights blink on the beat. So then when it gets to the final beat, it blinks, so you don't notice that it's not perfect.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I've used that a few times, but yeah, no, I try to get them to be pretty smooth. Every now and then I'll find glitches. I'll see like, a shadow doesn't line up or a highlight is different than the loop point or something. But for the most part, I try to keep them as clean as possible.
I like the blinking idea. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
This is like my old boss said: if you can't fix it, feature it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started out doing the puffins, though, right?
Right. Well,
Puffins...
I started with penguins, and then
yeah.
I did one with puffins. But yeah, so I started with penguins. I started doing that because I've been freelancing for like a decade, and I sort of realized that I didn't have any personal work that was really strong. I didn't have like a style. I didn't have anything that felt like it was my work.
Yeah.
And I've always sort of struggled with that. Like how do you develop a style? How do you do it? Like I didn't grow up with like an artistic background. Like I never learned how to draw. I never learned how to paint. But I learned how to animate. So I was always animating things, but never like making the thing to animate. So when I sat down and I was like, what do I do for a style? Like what's my style? What does that mean? I started making a bunch of stills first. I said, make some stills, try to develop a style, then go to animation, which is your strength. And I just started, I tried to be as genuine to myself as possible and just combine things that I was interested in, more or less. So I love Japan. I love Japanese culture. I lived there for a few years. So I started doing a lot of Japanese architecture and shrines and things like that. And then I also started putting penguins into it because I've always loved penguins. So it was just penguins in Japan, and that was enough to make it feel like it was my own thing. And from there, I started animating, and then it just kept evolving and evolving. and then it got to flamingos. There is one with puffins.
Yeah, I saw the puffins.
Yeah.
The puffins one was the very first one I saw.
On
Oh,
the
no way. Okay.
on the
Yeah.
little hexagonal
Yeah.
cliffs.
Yep. I made that after a trip to Iceland, and it was just so inspiring.
nice.
It's just
Yes.
such a surreal place.
You went to the
It's incredible.
that cave on the, with the
on the beach.
yeah. Matt and I have been
Right,
have
yeah,
been
yeah.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
no way. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful place.
It is.
Where did you
gorgeous.
guys go when you went? How long were
We
you there?
stayed in Reykjavik.
Okay.
I was only there for like 4 days, which
Okay.
isn't a lot of time. Dave was there for like 8.
It was my
Okay.
second
But,
time
you know-
there, so I did like a tour
Yeah.
of the
Nice.
South, like just driving,
Gotcha.
just rent a car and
Yeah,
drive.
we rented a car and we just drove all the way, all over the place. Went to the Black Sand Beach,
Yep.
hit up the Lava Museum.
Amazing.
You know,
Oh, I didn't get a chance to go to that, but I heard
it was pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the a lot of projection mapping stuff. Which was really neat.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's
but
very
those
cool.
those little cliffs at that Black Sand Beach with the little
Yep.
rest stop
Yeah,
restaurant
yeah,
right
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yep, that's what inspired that piece. I
Yeah.
called it Reynisfjara based on that very beach and those columns.
That
Yeah.
intrigues me so much because it just isn't like a natural shape, but that's actually what they look
You know
like.
what? I learned.
Actually, that
I
is
learned
very
why-
natural. That's a carbon atom, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I learned why it breaks like that. So what happens is when the lava's cooling, it all contracts very quickly, and the most efficient shape that it can contract into, that's closest to a circle, is a hexagon.
Yeah.
Like imagine everything pulling like towards
Mhm.
itself. The shape that can tessellate the easiest is a hexagon. It's closest to a circle, so that's how it
Weird.
works.
That's awesome.
It's like before you put
Bizarre.
the hyper smoothing on it, you know?
exactly. Um,
That's funny.
but
Wow.
yeah, it's fascinating. It's a fascinating place. When I first saw that and wanted to make a piece about it, I was like, oh man, I need to learn Houdini, because that would be a really cool thing to do. Have all the lava like
Yeah.
coalescing and cracking and solidifying, but
Yeah.
it's a bit beyond me in C4D. So
That's crazy.
that was my
that's how
interpretation
it
of it.
works. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I loved Iceland.
So let's talk about your both of y'all's backgrounds a little bit, about school a little
Sure.
bit more.
Okay.
So let's start with school. School, no school. How did you get into what you're doing now? That kind of thing.
Sure. So I went to NYU for film, and while I was there, I was doing like a lot of film stuff, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to focus on. I had done like VFX and motion graphics things sort of as a hobby in the past.
Mhm.
Like I wasn't very good at it, but I had done it a little bit, and I knew I liked it. And I saw an internship opportunity at the Onion, where they had an editing internship open up.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, cool, I'll be an editor. I want to do comedy videos. Like I love making sketches with my friends and stuff.
Mhm.
And when I was applying for that internship, they were like, by the way, do you know After Effects at all? Like we also have a motion graphics intern position. And I was like, oh yeah, I would love to try that out. And I made like a little reel and I sent it to them, and it was good enough. And that's how I started in motion design, basically, was doing like compositing and basic graphics and stuff for the Onion. And then it was a really awesome opportunity because the Onion, it's satire, and they're always trying to mimic the look of things to make it
Right.
look
Right.
real and to make it pass for a
Right.
joke. So the whole time it's like we have to make something that looks like Sports Center. We have to make something that looks like CNN. So I was getting
Yeah.
a lot of chances and being thrown into these situations where I had to make this look correct and real and believable.
That's funny. So
and there
you
was some- there-
basically did sports graphics and news graphics without actually having to do like
Yeah.
Yeah.
without having to say I did sports and news graphics.
Yep,
You know?
it was pretty great. So that was my first opportunity. It was an internship, and then from there, when I finished college, they gave me a position because they were just starting to do some TV shows.
Mhm.
So I worked on their TV shows. It would be a 3-month gig at a time where they would do a season of a show. There was a sports one on Comedy Central called Sports Dome,
Mhm.
and then there was a news one on IFC called Fact Zone. So I was working on those, and I was doing those for 3 months at a time. And then that sort of, eventually Onion moved out of New York. They went back to Chicago, I believe,
Mhm.
where they had a bigger office. So then the work was less consistent, but it was still like, regular enough. I was doing freelance things with them. And then I was branching out doing other freelance stuff. And then, let's see, after a while, I moved to Japan for a while because I wanted to live abroad. I wanted to try living abroad.
Yeah.
I moved there and I was working from home for a while, like on my laptop with my freelance clients. And to stay in Japan, I got let's see, I got a student visa to study Japanese. I had to study for 3 hours a day.
Oh,
So
wow.
I would go to Japanese school, study Japanese 3 hours a day, go home, work for 8 hours on my computer. And I did that for about a year until my Japanese was good enough where I got hired at a Japanese company for about a year.
Wow.
So I was working in a company that made pachinko games. I don't know if you're familiar with pachinko, but it's like crazy Japanese casino games. So I did that for about a year and then came back. And then I worked full time at a place for a year and then freelanced for a few years. And then here I am at RGA now. So
how
that's
different
my history.
was the industry in Japan versus here? I can't. That's crazy. So like you actually took Japanese for a year and learned it well enough to be able to.
Yeah. So I took it in college for about a year. I took it for 2 semesters. So I had like a base, but it wasn't really enough to communicate. But then going there and learning and being in the country, it was really helpful. That you learn quick. But let's see. So I sort of got a rude awakening because I went to Osaka because I liked Osaka a lot. I'd been in Japan before. I went to a few cities. I went with a friend for like 10 days, and Osaka was my favorite. So I was like, I'm going to live in Osaka. So I moved to Osaka. And then when I started looking for work a year into living in Osaka, I learned that all of the video production, motion graphics and everything, that's in Tokyo. All the video game production is in Osaka. And the only video game companies that use After Effects for their work are pachinko companies. So I worked at a pachinko company for a year.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Did you get to work with any of those crazy games that have like the weird LCD, like clear LCD layers in them or any of that? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh.
Where it's like 3D or whatever,
it's like
right?
3D because it's like a screen without a backlight on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. I didn't work on those. I worked on some games where it's like they had plastic parts that come out when like you get 3 sevens in a row and stuff like that. So it was a wild experience. It was really fun.
Did you get to take any with you, like to bring a game home, like just to have
no,
set up
but
or something?
You know what? I looked because I was like, oh, that'd be so cool to like have one of those casino games in my house.
Yeah.
I feel like when I looked, the game itself you can buy for like $200 used. But the shipping to America is like $1,000.
Yeah.
So,
that's crazy. Why'd you come back?
Let's see. I didn't want to spend the rest of my life in Japan. I was also seeing someone at the time in Japan who's American, and we both were missing family and friends, so we wanted to come back. Also, the pay there was not great.
Really?
At all. Yeah, it was really poor. But I don't know. I didn't want to just plant roots in Japan. I kind of wanted it as an experience to have for a while and see what it was like. And I wanted to travel without being a tourist. You know, I wanted to really like get a sense of another culture and learn from people there and get an idea of a different way of life. So after 2 years, came back and then started trying to, make a name for myself here and work in studios and stuff like that.
What was the so you were doing After Effects stuff? What was the jump from After Effects to C4D?
Oh yeah, well, so let's see. Before I went to Japan, I was doing C4D. I was doing C4D and After Effects. But when I went to Japan, they used 3ds Max in the company that I was at. So I didn't have any experience with that. So instead of learning a new software in Japanese, I just learned After Effects in Japanese.
That's funny.
But yeah, so that was a cool time. I also, before Japan, I went to France for 3 months because I wanted to live and work there too, and I couldn't get a visa there, so I only stayed for 3 months. But that was an awesome experience as well. I was working on a TV show that was basically the cultural equivalent of Jersey Shore here. It's like very, very trashy, but very, very popular. So the intro is actually like pretty awesome. And it was a lot of fun.
Called?
It's called Secret Story. So I was
who
working
is
on
the situation?
yeah, it's like that level of show.
Yeah.
The premise of the show is that it's like a bunch of strangers who move in together in a house, but everyone has a secret. And if their secret gets divulged, they're out. and they leave the house.
Okay.
And then whoever's left standing at the end of the show is, they win.
That doesn't seem like a hard show to lose or a hard show to win. Like, just don't say, like, what?
Yeah,
don't
well,
say your
apparently they're
secret.
like pretty big. They're pretty big secrets. I don't remember what they are,
Okay.
but I looked it up on Wikipedia once, and they're like pretty ridiculous.
Is it
secrets.
like secrets people there could discover? I guess.
Yeah, like I think one of them
Must
is
have.
like, I think one of them was like another one of the contestants on this show is my cousin or something like that, and another one is like I'm a Satanist or something like. It's all these secrets that like if someone finds out eventually that you get kicked out of the show.
That's weird.
Anyway, but yeah, it was a really interesting experience. But I had a great time working abroad, working on these crazy things. But it was good to come back, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then you came back and you went boxing and
yeah, and everything changed.
Yeah,
everything changed after meeting Chris.
So then let's do this. That'll be our meeting point there. So now let's go back and hear Chris's side of his upbringing up until the boxing point.
All right. Well, okay. So the upbringing started with the boxing. Let's be perfectly clear here. My dad's a professional MMA coach.
A professional what?
A professional what?
Professional boxing and MMA coach. So I've been doing that my whole life. But then, I mean, I grew up actually just doing stop motion animation and compositing, just like on little digital cameras, whatever I could get my hands on. Early ages up through high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a lot of compositing and green screen work and motion tracking in high school with I think the program was called like Hit Film or something. I don't even know if it's around, but it was like the cheap version of After Effects.
It does sound familiar.
Yeah.
I went to RIT for film. That's where I learned After Effects, and that's where I got pretty big into shooting stuff, shooting for VFX and compositing.
Mm-hmm.
I got very big into Maya, and then, well, not too long after, I moved to New York City and found work, and here I am.
Cool.
All right. How did you get into the plugin? Like, what was it that you were like?
There was a catalyst. I'm an extremely stubborn person, and I got really, really pissed off one day because
I can tell by the use of Unreal for Skype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was keying the shot, and it didn't key in Keylight, and it didn't key in Primat, but the part that keyed in Keylight did key in Primat. And I was like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
So I went in and I used all these different keyers, and I kind of reverse engineered everything, and I tried to find an algorithm that could compensate for all of their shortcomings. And then I wrote it up and I showed it to people, and everyone just told me to shut up, and they told me I was crazy. I'm like, I'm not crazy. And I hired someone to build the prototype, and I showed it working. And even though it was crude, like, it was outperforming the other main keyers out there on certain shots. So then I pitched that to AE Scripts, and they're like, oh, there are a million keyers out there. And I don't know if you guys know Lloyd Alvarez, but he was like, we want to go into a different, into a market that's not as tapped. And I'm like, all right. So I had another idea for Paint and Stick, and I was like, let's do that, and let's just do the keying thing after.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that problem with
how do you,
a couple different keyers lately, too. So I know what you're talking about.
How do you come up with an algorithm? Is this like just like beautiful mind numbers and stuff like that, or
you can just see it,
or you just see it and you're like, oh, I know the algorithm.
I don't have a great answer for that, but okay, so maybe I didn't come up with a perfect algorithm, but just looking at like all the different color spaces and things they were doing, I tried to find something that was a little more common sense. Okay, so for example, you guys are familiar with like the most basic of green screens, where you take the green channel and then you compare it to the addition of the red and the blue channel, right? And that creates a black and white matte, right?
Right.
Sure, I understood some of those words.
Well, that's more or less chrominance based, and that's going to output the same value, where a dark area is going to have the same matting value as a light area, because the ratio of red, blue to green is the same, right?
Okay.
Totally.
But one of the big issues with these old chrominance-based keyers that had originated in the algorithm originated optically in like the 70s or 80s is that they have difficulty keying black and white because they're essentially biased to look towards chrominance. And I started to look and say, okay, all these chrominance-based keyers are out there that are biased looking for color, but we need to bring luminance into the equation. We need to bring hue, saturation, like any sort of different color space, and consider differences with different properties than just chrominance.
Mm-hmm. And especially back in the day, wasn't it? You know, if you had a camera that was like, especially if it was like 411 or 42,
yeah,
you know, something like that, where you would have 4 color pixels for every 1 luminance pixel. That's where you would get all the jaggedies.
Well, that's still a problem regardless of the keyer. I mean, that's going to be a problem for a composite brush, because essentially in the blue channel or in the CRCB channel, it's 1/4 the resolution or half the resolution. And there's not much you can do about that. That you're going to need 2D post-processing to try to interpret. But
if you have, unless you have a good camera, right? Like a really, really nice camera.
Yeah. That's key. That's absolutely important. And another thing that's interesting is with a lot of digital cameras, they have built-in sharpening, which is just as bad as like 420 artifacts. Mm-hmm. Where if you were to look at the green screen and say that my shirt is black and the green screen is green, then you would expect that all the pixels on the border would be dark green, right? But that's not the case, because you'll get a light green on the border of the green when they're sharpening, because it's trying to create additional contrast. And a keying algorithm will not know what to do with that. So people are getting better. This is why I have the black magic, because they do not sharpen anything. They just compensate for sharpness by having higher resolution, which is the proper way to do it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just the file sizes are outrageous.
Worth it.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm loving my camera still. That 6K.
So yeah, it's awesome.
It's just that I don't know where I'm gonna put all of this massive amount of footage, but you know, we'll figure that out. By the way, I did see. I should put this in the show notes this morning. You know, Linus Tech Tips or whatever. He posted there's a PCI card you can buy that you just load up with M2 chips, and you put the PCI card in, and it does some ridiculous, like 62 gig a second transfer speed. It's insane. You got to check it out. I mean, you got to use a whole PCI slot for it, but it's like,
so you could fill up my whole hard drive in 1 minute.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, but you stick all the M2 drives in it, and then you have like this crazy fast thing. You know, he was showing they were running like 16 channels of 4K video in Premiere at the same time, or something nuts. You'll have to go watch. I'll put it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it made me start thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, now I'm to the point where I'm working with such high resolution footage that I got to think about M2 cards being too slow. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like find a better M2, you know, or something. So, yeah. If anybody has some good information on that, I would love to see, because you know, that's venturing into the hardware world where I'm like, ugh. You know, if you're not a big hardware guy.
Talk to us about Lockdown now.
Lockdown is going great. I mean, Composite Brush was doing all right, and then when I launched Lockdown, basically with Lockdown, we never wanted to make a tracker. I just wanted to make that mesh warping thing and then get points from Mocha out into Lockdown. And then it would be a very cheap, simple plugin where it would just take tracks and merge them into one mesh and then do the whole stabilize thing, right? Well, we couldn't find a way to get points out of Mocha AE, and the product was dead unless we made our own tracker. So we made our own tracker.
And how do you go about that?
Yeah, again.
How do you make your? How do you like?
What's the background that allows you to come up with this stuff? You know, like if I was gonna sit down right now and do a tracker, I would have to learn.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know.
I don't even know what.
I mean, I've been accidentally researching it for as long as I've been a compositor, because when I'm using Mocha, when I'm using any other motion tracker, you look at and try to identify patterns and say, okay, the tracker worked on this, but it didn't work on that. What is it about this texture? What is it about the color values and the contrast that it's seeing that it's not seeing in this other situation? So I had ideas of exactly how point tracking and planar tracking had worked for many years coming up to the tracker. And then once it got to that point where it was like, okay, we have to make our own tracker, I was just ready to go. I was like, all right. And we hired a lot of people with computer vision expertise, shortly into the development and release of Lockdown to make it even better. Our vector tracker is pretty accurate, so
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah.
It's
pretty
super
slow,
good.
but we'll get there.
Yeah, but
And
if
now-
it works, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing is that the big comment I got from everyone is like, yeah, the vector tracker is really slow, but it's way faster to just hit it and then go walk away and get lunch and then come back than to sit there and struggle with a bad track in the first place.
Right.
But yeah, but we're going to be working real hard to make that even faster. And as of now, the company's focus has been pretty much exclusively on Lockdown because it's so much more popular of a product than Composite Brush.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
We have a big update coming out with some features that Gavin actually suggested. You'll see those
Penguins. And-
Yes,
Yeah.
there is a
Flamingos.
penguin button.
Chris.
You can
Yeah.
track them right in there, right?
Chris, do you
Right.
have flamingos
Yeah.
on your shirt too?
Do I? I've actually been waiting for this, and what I wanted to say was,
We need some
Okay,
music
anyway.
for that. We need some
Oh my
music. I'll just do it
Very
manually.
supportive friend. Thanks, buddy.
The system is
That's
down.
funny.
sorry, Gavin, I had to do it to you.
Yeah,
Gavin,
I
which one of
appreciate
your
it.
friends is it that has the picture in the shirt hanging, and their mother put it up on the?
Oh, that's Chris.
Oh, okay, I thought it was Chris.
That
Yeah.
was so embarrassing.
Wait,
Yeah.
what now?
That was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
What?
I,
Oh
I
my
was
God.
I was on Gavin's Instagram, and he had posted a story about how Chris had a shirt. It's probably that shirt that you're wearing.
Yeah, it's that shirt and that.
Yeah.
And
So
his mom
I
liked
posted-
it so much that she put it up on her mantle.
Oh, it's so funny. That reminds me of I saw a picture where someone in their mom's house, their mom had like a picture of Jesus or something,
Uh-huh.
and they took the photo out and they put in David Aru. They put in like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Octave
yeah.
Jesus thing. And he was like, "Yeah, she still hasn't noticed."
Oh my
It's
gosh,
just David, that's great.
that's awesome.
That's funny.
Okay, so tell me about so after you met, did you ended up working together for a while, which I've done that whole thing where I hire my friends and then I peace out and
Yeah.
see ya.
You're right.
Yeah. So tell me about how did that happen? Gavin, how did you start working there as well? And
Let's see. So he was on a gig at RGA, and I guess
What is RGA?
yeah, what do
Sorry.
they do?
RGA is like a big agency. They do a ton of stuff. Like they do a lot of Samsung work, Verizon work, just a lot of big things. And they were doing, it was a Verizon project, right? It was Find the iPhone.
Yeah, it was Verizon Apple, yeah.
Verizon Apple. So they were doing a thing where you go around, it's like an AR, it was like Pokemon Go kind of, where you
Okay.
go around, but you collect music loops and you can collect different ones in the street and then combine them and make like these weird genres of songs. And each music sample had like this ring that was designed and animated to evoke like a feeling of that musical genre. So there's a metal one, a country one, and a reggae one. You combine them and everything. So Chris was working on that, and they needed more C4D artists, so he brought me onto it, and I worked there for about a month as a freelancer. And then, did we work at RGA again as freelancers after that, Chris?
Yeah, I was in and out, but I mean that was around the time that Composite Brush started getting big. So I mean, I had
Right,
been at
right.
RGA like full time for years, and then I started to do like a month at a time, take a month off, like do a
Right,
product
right.
launch.
Mhm.
And then when lockdown hit, like I think I came back to RGA for like 2 weeks for just like the Times Square takeovers because those were cool. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
So that was later. So that was when I was there full time. So a few months later,
Yeah.
I think RGA was looking for a motion design director, and they got in touch with me, and we talked about it for a while, and then I accepted, and I started there in February 2019. And then when I was there, I remember you've been in a bunch of times freelancing. So we've worked together at RGA a bunch of times.
I mean,
and
I love that place. It's a really fun
it's
place
great.
to work.
Yeah, it's a great
I
place.
wish I could balance it though. Like
Yeah.
I'm always trying to go back. It's just like the plugin development kind of sucks sometimes,
Yeah.
and it's got to be the focus.
Yeah.
What were you doing when you were there, Chris? Were you doing graphics or more of a programming thing, or like where did you?
I started as a compositor, mostly doing motion tracking and keying, but then I kind of became the technical director for a lot of these like big weird projects. So that project in Snapchat Gavin was just talking about, someone had to figure out like how do we make these loops and get them ported over into Snapchat and keep the file sizes down and just make everything work, and a lot of different technical challenges because the creative team had some ridiculous asks like animated textures. However, it was a 4 megabyte limit for the Snapchat lens, so just like a lot of like every trick in the book to keep things moving fast and efficient, and then getting everyone working together. I did the Times Square takeover for Nike. I don't know if anyone saw that, but the women's soccer team, when they went to the World Cup, we took over something like 40 screens in Times Square. Wow. And you could walk through and
crazy
see,
project.
Yeah, so you could see the animation on all the screens. So at that time I was in Unity. This was before I started working in Unreal, and I laid out Times Square in 3D with all of the animated screens so we could compose them in 3D, and then the client could stick on a VR headset and walk around Times Square and see what it looked like.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, when you're spending millions and millions and millions renting out all of Times Square for 3 hours, like the client needs that assurance. So even though it was a lot of effort to get that up in VR, it was worth it. And it also helped the approval sail right through.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
creatively.
Yeah. You were so essential in that project, man. Oh my God. That whole timeline was like 2 weeks or something.
It was awful. Well, because they weren't willing to start on it until they got guaranteed in the final, or else they'd be buying ad space for nothing.
Oh my God.
So it was like after the American team won the semifinal or whatever, it's like, okay, go.
Yeah, that was nuts.
So
but yeah, you said the day on that one.
I just Googled it and I'm looking at it now. That's crazy.
When you put these together, I'm guessing there's different things on each screen, and like you said, it's easier for them to envision it that way. I mean, gosh, what is the approval process like for that?
Yeah,
even? Like, because there's going to be a lot of people that probably can't just come in and put a headset on and check it out. You know,
well, we also could do screen captures of like a little first person run through in the game, and we should show those to the clients too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And we were also, so we could also make an executable too to send it to them. Like Unity self-deploys, or it deploys self-contained games, so you could send that. And like someone in the office knows how to use the keyboard and mouse to run around a first-person shooter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all WASD in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Gosh, that and when you do something like that and it's only 2 weeks and you've got the VR end of it, you've got people working on different aspects. How many people are involved in something?
It was like 5 of us crying.
Oh, man.
But I did the VR. The VR
like
bit.
A team of 30 or something, but yeah, 5
No,
crying.
No, it was like 5 people.
Oh,
no, so the thing is, we modeled Times Square before the project got approved, so that was a lot of it. We did the modeling and the UVs on the screens before, and then actually getting the setup in Unity, that took me like 3 days, and in the meantime, everyone was doing style frames and stuff and getting that figured out. And then we started to see the animation like the first, the end of the week 1, we started seeing animation in there. And then we just worked weekends. It was like 16-hour days. It was like the best paycheck I've ever made, like 2 weeks, 16-hour days.
Yeah.
We were happy. Like we hadn't slept. We had our coffee. We smelled. We hadn't showered. We were like, this is great. Let's work some more.
Happy, but empty, crushed.
Yeah. No, I love a project like that every now and then isn't bad. It feels good.
Yeah. I had just come off of 2 months working at home on composite brush. I was like, oh, great. Let me get in there.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of like the stuff you were creating? Was it actually, because you're using Unity, is it playing out like in 3D in Unity, or are you playing pre-made graphics within Unity? Like,
all the graphics were made in After Effects. So essentially it was 2D renders that were rendering on the 3D assets with very careful UV layouts. Okay. So every vendor has slightly different specs, right? So it's like different frame rate, different resolution, different UV layout, and they give those to us. And then I built those specs into an After Effects template, and everyone would just render out an MP4 at like quarter resolution, and then I just pumped that into the texture on the 3D model.
Okay, that makes sense.
It was actually really simple. Like the only reason that job got so much recognition is because it's just wild to take over Times Square.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the hardest projection job in the world.
Chris is downplaying it. I wasn't on the project, but I was working next to everyone who was, and it was like 40 different screens. It was so many screens. And like some of the screens, like
and
it'd be
all
a
different
screen.
sizes too, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Times Square. There's
it was a ton of work.
All custom screens. That's
What's that one? Is it American Eagle or American Outfitters or something? It's like all these vertical ones and then bars and there's a cube and it's crazy.
But I
It's
mean,
crazy.
you do like a planar projection on it, and then you just take their UV map and then you resort them. So
Sure.
it wasn't that bad. I made sure by the time everything got to the animators, they were seeing it in a planar fashion, and then all the transforms would happen through the compositions, and no one would be thinking about that crap anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
That's
Oh
rad,
man.
So
That
then
sounds
at
like a
the
lot of
end,
headaches.
like so you go through, you did the Unreal stuff just to show them what it looked
Or
like.
Unity, right? Unity.
Yeah, that
Or
part was
Unity, yeah. Yeah. And then, but then the screens are actually going into a whole different system, right? You're not running that through Unity.
Well, thank God the vendors handle that. Basically, we just tell every single vendor, this video plays at 8 o'clock sharp. That one plays at 8:05. That one plays at 8:10.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
going
but
to be
they
my
all
next
handled it.
question. Like the syncing
Yeah,
of
they
the
were-
whole thing, because they don't
That
usually.
seems more stressful than any of
Yeah,
it.
they don't
But
usually
that
talk
wasn't
to
our
each
problem.
other. Yeah.
Not our problem. They handled it. They nailed it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, thank God.
I mean, because unless you have some sort of time code generator going between each building, like, are they all linked like that? Or this is just
I don't think
manual?
so. Some of them were off by like a second. Like, who knows? They were using like
Oh.
satellite time or something.
Yeah.
It didn't matter though, because they were very broad sweeping motions. And plus, since you
Yeah.
can only look in one direction in Times Square at once,
Right.
you're only seeing 10 screens at a time anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember asking James, creative director at RGA. I was like, James, how do they sync up all the screens? He's like, bro, it's just like those old spy movies. He's like, everyone syncs their watch and says, go.
Yeah.
And then all just press at the same time. I was like, oh my God.
Everybody
really?
has a key that they put in at the same time in
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. With a
Exactly.
card. You know Superman 3.
Yeah.
Superman 3, when he's got to put the string on the other guy's arm because he's passed out, they got to put the card in at the same time. Richard
funny.
Pryor.
Oh, man.
It's the worst
that.
Superman movie of all time.
Oh, man.
It's also my favorite.
That's cool, man. That's super cool. It's cool to work on a project of that scale.
Yeah.
I was glad I did it.
Yeah.
So
then you then
yeah.
you left and went back to work on Composite Brush or
Yeah.
Lockdown.
Honestly, the dates are all jumbled, but eventually lockdown. I mean, I'm trying to get back into RGA because I have so many good friends who work there and we do cool stuff there. It's just like every time I step away from if I take 8 hours to step away from like the plugins, then it's just harder to keep people on task because my programmers aren't animators, and you really want to be involved on day by day, hour by hour supervision and testing and then bug reports and help tickets. That takes forever.
I was going to
I can
actually
imagine.
ask you about help tickets. Do you have, what do you use for help tickets? Is it just email or do you have a ticketing system?
AE Scripts has a ticketing system that goes through my email.
Oh, okay.
And I can't like hire someone to do it because like lockdown is changing so often that like every time we release a new build, no one knows how to use it except me. So I got to do all the tickets.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeez.
See, we have a lot of
Yeah.
questions that come in sometimes, and none of them are really too complicated. We usually get them knocked out pretty quick, but we're getting to the point where, like, I'm like, we need a ticket system. Like, is there a website or something that can help you do that?
I'd say talk to Lloyd. Like Lloyd is, I don't know what they use for AE Scripts because it's convenient because it just goes into my help tickets folder in my inbox.
Yeah.
But if you have to, you can click on it and you can upload pictures and videos, and it reminds you when you miss a ticket if you haven't answered in a couple of days.
Oh, cool.
That's what I'm
cool.
looking for, because sometimes I feel like I'm missing
Yeah.
somebody's email.
Yeah.
Or
Or Dave will wait to answer it, or I've already answered it and like it's not noticed that,
he
and then
didn't
he goes
CC
and
me,
answers
and then
it
I
again.
answer it too.
I forget to CC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this ticket system is forum based kind of. So when someone replies, everyone sees the reply in the email chain. So it's nice.
That's
Cool.
nice. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They're doing some great stuff over at AE Scripts.
And so,
Yep.
so Gavin, at that point, you stayed on working there,
Yep,
and
I'm
so
still
what
there.
kind of projects are you working on now?
Let me see. Okay, I got to think carefully because I have a bunch of NDAs.
Yeah, right.
But it's usually like we've done a lot of work with Samsung, done a lot of work with Verizon. Like the ads where phones are spinning around and stuff. So I get to use C4D in that, which is fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's interesting because we'll do actually most of the time that I've done those spinning phone kind of things, I'll usually animate it in C4D. And then I'm exporting Alembics to their team in Maya because they have Maya
Interesting.
like renderers, modelers, texturers.
See, that's funny because anytime I get something from Samsung, it's always
Yeah.
in C4D.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then I've got to retexture it for Octane,
Weird.
but it's just
Interesting.
it's standard
Yeah.
render. Yeah.
I think it's because RGA is pretty well set up to work in Maya. They have like a CPU
Yeah.
render farm. They use Maya V-Ray. So, yeah, it's all my fault. Me and my stupid C4D knowledge. So they got to do my Olympics.
I was always super grumpy about that. I was like, guys, like pick one, C4D or Maya, pick one.
Yeah.
Like I don't like Alembics. I don't like going back and forth.
But we've done it. We've done a few that were just C4D. It just kind of depends on the project and the team they have. But it's a really flexible team.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they're really great there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. So it's a lot of that kind of stuff, and yeah, that's a lot of it. Samsung, Verizon. Again, I'm trying to think of the stuff I'm not allowed to talk about.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's mostly stuff for TV.
How's with the quarantine and the lockdown going, because y'all are both in New York City, right?
Yep. We live 5 minutes away from each other. I could walk to his house in 5 minutes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. How's that going? How are y'all handling everything?
I'm really lucky. RGA has been doing an amazing job at handling that. So let's see. I think there was one day that was like, I think it was March 11th. And they were like, we're going to do a mandatory work from home day just to test this out, see if there are any problems.
Cool.
And then the next week on Monday, they were like, everyone has to work from home from now on. It was like the city went into lockdown.
Wow.
And since then, we've been working from home. So they mailed me an RGA laptop. That's what I'm actually on now because it has a video camera. My desktop doesn't. So to get files off their servers and stuff, I can log it on here and take them off. And
that's cool.
But they've been really, really well set up to handle it. Everyone's on Slack and Zoom and communicating the whole time. Really good communication there.
It's really good that they thought ahead of time and they're like, okay, we got to try this out first.
They've been super proactive about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's super awesome.
Slack has been really good. I feel like we've been working with some clients with Slack lately, and it's just so nice because it's not heavy email chains. It's not constant phone calls. It's not constant Zoom meetings. It's just so easy to be like, hey, at so-and-so, we finished this thing. And they're like, cool story, bro.
Here's a change.
Yeah, here's a change. All right. You get a little notification. Here's another change. And it's all categorized into the right, channel. And I don't know. Yeah. It's been nice.
My life didn't change. I've been working from home on composite brush and lockdown anyway.
Yeah.
I've just been bored. That's it. Like, I can't complain because I got corona. I'm like 95% sure based on the symptoms. I had a nurse confirm it, a friend of the family. Yeah. And I was just kind of tired for like a week. So I got lucky, and it's just been just the same old work from home. Like, there's not fun stuff. There's no boxing anymore, but the grocery store was a pain for a while waiting outside because they'd only let a certain amount of people in. But like, I really can't complain. It has not been a bad experience for me personally.
Yeah.
Man, that means...
Did you lose the sense of taste and smell as well?
No, I just got extremely tired, and I had a nurse was telling me that's actually common. That some people just get really, really tired, and I also developed a dry cough that I've had for the last like 3 months that I can't get rid of.
I had that. I had the same thing. I had the cough, and I felt really tired. I felt really, really tired, but I thought it was just because I had a newborn. Because I'm like, oh man, I'm exhausted all the time. I'm so tired.
You're like, raising a newborn's awful. It's like, no, it's coronavirus, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's just coronavirus.
See, I'm exhausted all the time, so I'm like, well, maybe I've just always had corona my whole life.
Probably.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Patient zero.
Yeah.
Right.
3 out of 4 people in this podcast have had corona. That's
I know, right?
75%.
Wow. See, at 75%, then you would have what is it? Social immunity. What is that called?
Yeah,
herd
blocking,
immunity?
they say.
Oh, yeah, herd immunity.
Yeah,
if only that worked over the interwebs.
I know, right? Okay, so Chris, I got to ask you, you've produced some good plugins, but just from talking to you now, I feel like you've got more waiting.
Yes.
Do you have ideas for anything new? Like,
man.
Tell us all your secret ideas.
Yeah, tell us your secrets so that we can develop them ourselves.
Yeah, right.
All right, so penguins everywhere. We were talking about that earlier. The penguin button.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
No, but
right.
I think that for at least the next few months, I think it's just going to be making Lockdown and Composite Brush into what they should be.
Yeah.
Just making some people, I don't know how much you've used Lockdown, but like there were the issues of it's hard to re-edit a point after it's been tracked.
Yes.
We're releasing an update where you can continue tracking a point that's been tracked. Very soon you're going to be able to actually manually supervise and watch it play and track and, you know, click and move it. It'll be like a very friendly interactive tracker.
Yeah.
Things like mesh smoothing aren't too far. A lot of people have complained that you can't unlock down something. Gavin was complaining about that, and that's why I built that feature in. And I showed him the other day that now there's just a button you can hit lockdown and unlock down and go right back to tracking, then lockdown and check your mesh. So just I think that for the next few months, I've just been feeling like uninspired to make anything new. And since those two products are very popular,
all right,
just make them better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
That's
good.
a great idea.
Yeah.
If that's what Octane is doing right now, or Otoy is doing right now with Octane, it's the summer of stability.
Just faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Sometimes it's all people want.
Oh my God, the RTX boost, that changes everything.
I know.
Oh, it's so nice.
It literally doubled or half my render time. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk some
I
render
only have one
engines a
RTX
little.
card. What's that?
I said, yeah, let's talk some render engines a little bit. What do you run on a regular basis?
For me, it's Octane. That's just sort of what I started in. I just keep using it. I think when I was first getting into GPU rendering, I was like, do I want Redshift or Octane? And Octane was $20 a month. So I was like, let me try it for a month. And then I just kept using it. I've used Redshift too. I used it on a project. It was also great. No complaints about it. But I'm just used to Octane at this point. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I use Mental Ray.
No, you don't. Do you?
No, I
Splutterfish.
I use Bryce 3D.
I hate to say it. I don't really. I don't work in 3D anymore, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to again, but I mean, I'll try to work in a real-time renderer like Unreal, but it's been. I still do a lot of modeling. Go figure. I don't know why. Just like little odd jobs where you need to do it, but yeah.
Talk to me about Composite Brush for Unreal.
Oh man, so
because it's funny, like on the show, we were talking about it, and I went to go look it up, and then you had posted that you had discontinued it.
It's dead, yeah.
We were like literally trying to promote it, and then it was like, oh no, sorry, it's dead.
All right, so let me tell you what happened there. Okay, so the unfiltered version. Epic Games reached out about a year ago, and they said they've been trying all these different keyers, and they really like Composite Brush, and they were considering putting it native into the Unreal Engine. I'm like, all right, that sounds great. So they wanted me to build a prototype to test to see how it could work in Unreal, and as you can see, it's working pretty well right now.
Yeah.
But they gave us a grant, and we built it, and then we went to go actually launch it for sale. So now... whenever we launch an After Effects plugin, the user base, they're pretty quick to adopt if you come up with anything substantial. And there are a lot of people out there using After Effects. Like between Composite Brush and Lockdown, we have thousands and thousands of users. Like it's never a problem getting a user base.
Yeah.
This Unreal virtual production thing, when we launched that, I was like, all right, here it comes. I'm ready. I'm bracing for the storm. And like the first week, no sales.
Wow.
Like the second week, like one sale. We cut the price down to $200 because we're like, okay, the market's not here. We ended up getting, I think, less than like 10 sales, and we gave out a bunch of promotional licenses for the product.
Wow.
At $200.
Yeah.
Man.
So we were selling this thing, and every person, because Unreal is, it's so rapidly changing, and everyone has different setups.
Was it on the Epic Store as well?
No, I didn't put it out there yet. I just stayed with AE Scripts.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also for licensing because you have to deliver your source code in full to the Epic Game Store. I'm like, okay, so you want to destroy my After Effects product by releasing the core source code for Composite Brush? Can't do it.
Geez.
So no, that's why I released it compiled and scrambled on After Effects. And some people are like, oh, why don't you release the source code? I'm like, because no, this is my living. I need that.
Yeah.
Like sorry,
money,
like
though.
I just can't.
Yeah.
And with every person who we were helping on the Unreal side of things, we were spending, sometimes days helping them on each ticket. And it came down to the point where I was looking at the numbers and we were losing money on every sale.
Yeah.
Like absolutely, because it was a service. With After Effects, everything is established and it's been going that way for a long time. You sell them the product, they use it. 1 out of 100 people will have a help ticket, maybe 1 out of every 200, right?
Yeah.
And with Unreal, it was every single person. So really, the only way we could do it would be to do some sort of contract, and we never got off the ground. So I basically told Epic Games, like, look, like, you know, we're losing so much money on this. I had to lay off the team. It sucks. If they want to buy it, they want to build it native into the Unreal Engine. It's working. It's here. It's easy to use, and it's fast. I'd love to do it at a reasonable cost, but I can't. I just can't sell it and maintain it. It's just not worth it right now. Someday virtual production will have a huge user base. Today is not that day.
Yeah.
But it is getting there.
I feel like it's going to be getting there. Yeah.
This year is just like, it's
Hell
really
no.
starting to people are starting to talk about it.
Yeah, they're talking about it. They're sharing a lot on The Mandalorian, but they're not like to actually like do it. Also, guys, another thing to think about when you think about real-time keying, right? You use it for weather broadcasts where it's important. It's got to go out real time.
Right.
Everything else, though, you don't need great accuracy. You don't need a sharp key. You just need to get a general idea to see what you're shooting, and then you key it in post. So for Composite Brush to be a $200 plugin and someone to use it for film, they're like, why don't we just use the native key or Unreal? It doesn't key that well, but it doesn't matter. You know, it's jaggy, and we can see our composition.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so for all the work we did making this blazing fast and accurate and clean, it doesn't have a big market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see, well, I guess if you were going to do something live.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah. But it
that's
seems
like this podcast.
Yeah. I mean, there's people that are trying to do the virtual sets and things like that, and you know, but again, then some people are just skipping all the green screen stuff and moving right to LED, like Mandalorian.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Right. Sorry about that train going overhead.
It's okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
There is a series now on Disney Plus about the behind the scenes of Mandalorian, and I know there was already that video about how they did the LED stuff, but there's a whole episode on the LED Unreal stuff in that series now, if you want to check that out. It's like the technical behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But there are so many people going to virtual production, and maybe not necessarily green screen stuff, but are you getting into that area, into other aspects besides the keying stuff?
I mean, I hate to say it, but no, that was another thing that I kind of learned really quickly about the Unreal Engine is it's evolving so fast, it's hard to keep up. Composure, when it came out, like a little over a year ago, it's changed a lot from when we started working on it to where it is now, and it requires a bit of maintenance and upkeep that you just don't deal with in After Effects. It's, I don't know. I think it would just take a bigger team than the one that I have to be real focused with a big background on Unreal to stay in that space.
Yeah.
And it's something that would be fun. It's like, I would love to have like a warehouse with, you know, some rigs set up, even if it wasn't the LED stuff, because that's so expensive. But even if it was like a small green screen rig or something, who is the guy, Matt? Is it Matt Workman?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Who's doing a bunch of that stuff, and he's showing a bunch of that off online. Like, check, if you haven't heard of him, check out his stuff if you're interested in looking at some of that. And he has the green screen stuff going on. But that stuff looks fun.
I'm going to run to the restroom
that stuff
real
looks
quick.
super fun. All
right, go for it.
I did a really like rudimentary version of that years ago, and I actually released clips of it on our old website as like an experiment or something, where we put an iPhone on top of a 5D Mark II so we could track the gimbal movements. Yeah. You know, and then like send a signal and combine it with something from Cinema 4D. We actually got it to work, you know, but you know, that's the kind of thing that I saw it done, and I was like, okay, how can I do that? And how can it be done on the cheap? You know, how can it be done more affordably? And I was on the right track.
It's definitely the future.
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen is we're going to see those sensors either built right into cameras, just like they're built into an Oculus Rift, or just have a little easy attachment that you can stick on there. And then you're going to be able to record that motion. Just press the record button and it starts recording directly into the device, saves it right onto your memory card.
Yeah.
And that data becomes like a metadata track, just like an audio track.
That's what I've always wanted, is just to get coordinates out, you know, whether it's embedded in the video track, if it could be somehow embedded like into the closed caption track, kind of like they do with a drone. The GPS coordinates go into the closed captioning track. you
It
can
depends on
actually-
how you want to save the data. I'm
Yeah.
a little bit ignorant in this space, but like to me, I think. Do you guys use like the Oculus Rift? Do you know about it?
Oh yeah, it's sitting right here.
Yeah, of course, of course. So they've got the accelerometer, and that's a pretty lightweight track, right? And that's pretty basic data. And then there's another data, which is the actual video being recorded in from each of the cameras, and that data isn't saved through the Oculus Rift. It puts those images together, and then it derives a position of the headset, and then that position is returned. So that's very lightweight.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, what I would do is I would not even bother doing that calculation. I would just save those 4 video tracks, and then that in combination with the actual video coming out of the camera, put that in a really, really advanced solver to make a really accurate position after the fact. So I'd want to save those 4 videos as well.
Imagine you could just take an AEC file that goes along, that has the same naming convention as your clip. It's just .aec, and then you can just drop that in to After Effects, and you got camera data, and it just lines up right with your footage. That would be super fun.
Yeah, for
super
sure.
convenient. So, what else do we want to talk about? More Octane. We didn't talk about much more Octane. I guess we could talk about, first of all, Gavin, do you do other render engines besides
I just
Octane?
have Octane at home. I've used Redshift in the past, and I've used Arnold once or twice on a job, but it was kind of a situation where I was learning on the go, and just the project was in that, so I had to learn it. But yeah, when I work at home, I just work in Octane. It does what I need. It's fast. It's convenient. I haven't run into any walls.
The
with
walls. That's what I was going to ask you about.
Yeah, no, I've never run into anything where I couldn't do something with it. The only time I did a help ticket and everything, and they helped me out. It was just I wasn't setting up my instances right, so my scene had like 25 million polygons.
Instances or something like that.
It was that triangle one. So that triangle one, when I was rendering it, it would crash after like 4 frames.
Did they know who you were? Were they like, oh, we got to help this guy? This guy specifically.
Guys, we got a
Because
flamingo
you're just selling them
emergency.
hundreds of licenses with your work.
I hope so. Jeez. But yeah, no, so they helped me out with it. So then when I did the instances properly, instead of having 25 million polygons, I had like 800,000, and it just worked fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So it was just my error. But no, other than that, I've never run into any issues.
Now you also did an Instagram face filter with your flamingos as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty silly. It was fun to put together. I just saw that you could do it with the Spark AR, and I looked up a tutorial, and I built that filter in like 2 hours or something.
Really?
It's really easy to use, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
But I'm thinking about doing others because it was a fun thing, but I haven't revisited it. So I'm trying to think of some other ideas, like maybe it would be like some Mixamo animation of a character, and then it puts your face on the character, and the character's like going crazy, and then next to you is a bunch of flamingos.
That's funny.
Or even just putting like a human head on the flamingo while it like flops around or something like that. So that's definitely, it's in my head. It's down the line, but I'll put it together eventually.
Didn't somebody say, like, I guess they're not taking submissions for more face filters right now or something during the quarantine or something like that? I don't know.
I don't know. I've seen tons of them. There's so many that are absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous ones.
So are these? You've got all these loops and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, are they VJ loops? Are they free to download as well?
Yes, they are. So on my site, I have a site, Shapiro500.com, and I made it because I had this idea, like, what if you're just like doing a party or an event or something, you just like want some loops really quick. So you can go to that site, you can choose the BPM, and then it just plays a bunch of my loops. And you can choose which ones you want to play and don't play. If you need like a theme or something, you can make it full screen, Chromecast it. So you can just use that for free. You can download all the videos for free. They're 720p, so they load quickly, and they have a watermark. If you want it in high def and without the watermark, there is a link to buy them.
Cool.
But otherwise, you can just get them for free. But yeah, no.
That's cool that you can do the BPM.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in right now.
Yeah.
999. Does it work?
Does it work? I feel like I capped it at something. I forget what it was.
So do you have to hit download to get it at that speed, or will it do it over here?
No, it should just, if you press enter maybe.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Oh, there he goes. Oh man,
Oh yeah, yeah.
$9.99.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Dude, the snow texture on those the flamingos
Oh, yeah.
skiing, oh, so good.
That came out really nice. So I looked up how to do that on YouTube.
You gotta
There was some
push.
awesome tutorial. Some guy shows you how to do it, and then I just tweaked it a little bit, added some more texture to it.
And this one, was this one thrown through the Google algorithm?
So this one, I saw some work on Reddit by a guy who goes by Moon Scooter. His name's Jeremy. And I contacted him. I was like, I love your work. Do you want to do some kind of collaboration? Like, just let me know what you think. And he was down, and he put his effects on one of my videos. And yeah, he uses, oh my God, I don't remember the name. He uses a style transfer thing, and I'd have to look it up.
It's that,
but yeah,
that algorithm, right? That AI algorithm that changes things to that
exactly.
trippy...
It's something like that.
Yeah, it's
but
something.
That's all his. Like, he designed that art and stuff or something. Like, he has his own artwork and it looks like that. But I saw a video that he did that was getting kind of popular on the Deep Dream subreddit, where it was like just first person view of walking through Tokyo or something. And he made it look like a Monet painting.
That's cool.
And I was just blown away. So, but yeah, he's awesome, and he's done that.
Yeah.
How much time do you put into one of these renders?
That's a good question. It kind of depends. Usually what I'll do is like wake up before work. My girlfriend's a nurse. She gets up earlier than I do. So I wake up with her, and then I have a few hours in the morning where I'll chip away at one. Sometimes it'll be a few days. Sometimes it'll be a few weeks. That one where it's all the triangles that are flipping and then flipping and all the rails, that one was a few weeks. That was tough to get together.
Yeah.
That one was such a nightmare. Oh my God. Because the way it works, each loop, like each copy of it, is the same scene, but it's offset by 4 seconds. So all the rails line up with each other. Like when one flamingo leaves one, it goes into the past or future on the same one.
Oh, gotcha.
Then, depending on where it is, I made it so they all line up on the rails. So that was kind of a nightmare to get that to work out. But so that was one of the longer ones. But yeah, usually average probably 2 weeks, a week, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what do you plan on doing next? What's the next? Are you
working on one right now?
More flamingo?
Good question. I mean,
what's the next animal?
The next animal. I did a few with some seagulls, seagulls, and I might do something like that on another summer one or something. The thing I'm trying to focus on now is more collaborations.
Yeah.
So I did the one that's a Fibonacci spiral with all the balls and everything, and that one was a collaboration with a guy named Arbin, and I'm sure you've seen his Instagram. He's got like all these little circles and spheres that go around and gears and things.
I think so, yeah.
His Instagram is Arbin Liberate Me, and the I is a 1. And if you look it up, you'll see he's got a lot of really, really amazing work. So he and I collaborated on that. We're in the process of collaborating on another one that he's finishing up now.
That's cool.
So my goal, I'd love to do more collaborations with people. I have a few other ideas. And immediately next is I'm working on a SIGGRAPH talk. I got asked to speak at SIGGRAPH this year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I'm putting that talk together, planning it out, and getting ready to record it.
For Maxon?
Yes, for Maxon,
nice.
Yeah, Matthias reached out.
And you'll be hanging out with us. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Virtually. Unfortunately, just virtually. But
in the cloud.
Yeah, the cloud. Yeah.
I was talking to, it was funny because they sent out an email. They were like, here's some good talks to check out as a reference. And one of them was my friend Sarah Wycliffe.
Oh, you know Sarah?
Yeah, I worked with her at The Onion for a while.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we worked at The Onion together. So I got in touch with her. I was like, hey, can I pick your brain about like SIGGRAPH talk and everything? And she was like, yeah, you're going to love hanging out with everyone. Like, everyone's so nice. So like, Matt and Dave are great. Yeah. But she said it's an awesome experience, awesome community. She said you guys are great.
She's been deadlifting.
Yeah. She has?
Yeah, did you see that? She's been like going hardcore with the weights. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's awesome. She did Krav Maga for a while too.
I need to get on the weights. Yeah, seriously, she posted this video of like, I don't know how much she was lifting, but she had the full belt on and everything. Couldn't have been very light. Man,
That's
You need the
cool.
belt.
yeah.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Everybody's getting in their home workouts in quarantine.
Not me. I'm just gaining
Oh, yeah.
weight. I've gained like 12 pounds. Working on my COVID-15.
COVID-19.
COVID-19. That's what
Yeah,
I
there
meant.
you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have the opposite problem of everyone else. I'm 6'6", so I just like lose weight constantly. It's so hard for me to keep on
Yeah.
weight.
Oh, that must be
Yeah,
so
it must be
hard.
so terrible.
Yeah, okay. Everyone says that.
I'm just-
You don't know. We gotta eat
Yeah.
so much. All
You
the
know what?
time.
I have seen him, and it is funny. I actually do sympathize. I've watched how much he eats and how hard he lifts, and how he just gets like nothing for results. Like for him to put on like a pound of muscle is like 2 weeks like straight as hard as.
That's
Pain,
funny.
yes. I'll spend a year putting on 10 pounds, and if I don't go to the gym for a month, I lose it all.
Yeah.
But it's okay. No one will.
Hey, you can still box, buddy.
I can still box.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I boxed.
6'6", you got to have a long reach, I bet.
Yeah.
I'll whoop him.
Yeah, you will with me.
Coming for you, man.
Chris is awesome. Chris is the best boxing coach I've ever had.
Come at me,
Yeah.
So
bro.
like detail oriented. I found out that he's just training me to box so that he can learn how to box against a tall guy. See, I thought he was just being this
Oh,
nice
that's funny.
teacher.
It's
Yeah.
actually funny. Like all the other tall guys I've boxed lately, I've just destroyed because I've been with training with Gavin for so long.
Mhm. That's funny.
We got to get back into it, man. We were talking about doing that.
I'm
soon.
still boxing, man. I'm still boxing every day. You hit
I
me
haven't
up.
really
I don't have a
boxed.
schedule.
Let's do
You
it.
know where to find me.
Let's do it.
You
We'll go to
live
the park.
5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just come
No, we'll
over
do
and
it
just
very
start
soon.
wailing on me.
Oh,
Yes.
we do. We go. I mean,
do.
we were almost thinking. I think that we decided not to do it because of the whole coronavirus thing. And even though we both already had it, we don't want to put
Right.
out the wrong message.
Right.
We were thinking
Yeah.
of starting this off with like 3 rounds.
Oh
That'd
yeah,
be fun.
just going right for it. You know.
On the green
Yeah.
screen. Yeah.
Yeah, or probably outside. My living room's not that big, but yeah.
Yeah.
See, but on the green screen, you could put like a fake boxing ring and everything.
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
you can put a
Nice.
crowd in there
Right?
Love it.
of like
Camera
real-time
flashes.
reactions and stuff. Like, put a sensor in the glove, and the harder you
Yeah.
hit, the more the audience reacts.
I'm going for the high score.
Right.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Maybe that'll be my next animation. Some flamingos in a boxing ring or something.
Oh, that's good.
All
That's a
right.
good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some violent flamingos.
Yeah.
You know, their necks like giraffes.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Have
That'd
you
be good.
seen that? Have you
Yeah,
seen the
totally.
giraffes battle?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Oh
That's
my
funny.
god.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Or a penguin fighting the flamingo.
That'd be
it's the
good.
ultimate showdown.
That was everyone knows that's the ultimate showdown.
Right.
Penguin versus flamingo.
I'm pretty
Everyone's
sure the
wanting-
flamingo would win, but like whatever.
You think
Yeah.
so? I don't
I don't know.
know.
What if it
Flamingos
was-
are
At that
so
reach.
mobile. They're so fast. Penguins just kind of waddle.
Yeah, they are very stubby. They're pretty clumsy.
They're very slow. They can't. They don't have a lot of offense or defense, or
Yeah, but I would
really
think
they're
that,
just like walking meat.
flamingos are so light.
Yeah,
You know?
maybe more like 1,000 flamingos against 1,000. Wait, a giant penguin versus a giraffe.
a penguin-sized flamingo versus a flamingo-sized penguin.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Versus 10,000.
Now that gets
10,000
interesting.
10,000 penguins. I mean, you could instance that.
I mean, the real question is whose turf are we on? Like, if we're in Antarctica, the flamingo doesn't stand a chance. You know.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, the
totally.
penguin
Yeah.
just has to wait.
Yeah, well, the flamingo just flies away.
That's
Yeah.
true. They are majestic in flight.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna have to
That's
get into.
funny.
I'm gonna have to get into the lifting. I'm getting to. You guys run as well.
Yeah.
I have run in the
I get
past.
bored,
I've
man.
failed at running.
What do you do? Like when you hit a certain point in running, it's just like, okay, I've thought through what I have to do today. I've thought of my life goals and dreams, and now I have another 45 minutes to go. And I don't want to. I tried listening to podcasts, but you don't have the same like momentum when you're not listening to music. And I hit up EJ
Yeah.
because he's on that. What's the Stravia? What's the running app? And he's running like 40 miles a week, and I'm like, dude, how
my
do you
God.
Yeah.
not just? How are you not bored out of your mind?
I do.
yeah.
Well,
It's very boring.
It is boring, yeah. I think though, when you run, you should try to just enjoy it. So my rule is when I started running, when I was like out of shape or whatever, I committed to walking and then running until I started to feel a burn, and then just walking again.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's so much more tolerable if you commit to an hour of something you enjoy, and then you build up a little bit more slowly. but you're never like, oh, I don't want to run and feel that burn in my lungs and my legs and my feet. Like every time you go, it's just like kind of like going to the spa almost. Like not quite, but
you
just take it light.
Positive association with it.
Yeah, exactly. Positive association. That's probably what I meant to say, is just go out, even if you just walk, even if you're not feeling the run, just make sure you go out every day and do the hour-long walk. Yeah. And as long as you're out there every day and, you run for 5 minutes in a stretch one day and then 10 the next day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you just got to do it in a way where you don't hate it. The only way I've been able to enjoy running is like, I got to put on Meshuggah or like the Doom soundtrack, and then I can do like just a few miles. Like I've tried marathons. I actually got third to last place in the Paris Marathon out of like 30,000 people. It was terrible. It was like 7 hours. And I found it is not the thing for me. I gave it a shot, but no, when I've run just like a few miles at most, like 30 minutes, and that's all I can handle.
See,
I don't run. I don't like it. I
haven't in a long time because I don't really like it.
I haven't
liked
the
running
other day
since I was in football in elementary school. I hated it. I hated running.
I told Julie I was like mad at myself the other day because I only ran 5 miles instead of 6, and I'm like, what am I saying? Like in February, I couldn't run more than 30 seconds, so I should.
Good.
Yeah.
You're winning. 5 miles is winning. Like after you get out of college, it's just a battle to like stay in shape.
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing like 3 10Ks a week now. But I'm.
Oh, that's awesome.
The problem is, it's just the like. I've done the whole thing where I've gone through. There's a really cool site where you can pull music, or find music and the BPM, so that you can build a playlist that slowly builds, so that you can kind of keep your pace and not worry. Because I always look at heart rate. I want to keep my heart rate a certain place for the majority of the run, and at the end I'll push it up a little. But now I think I'm going to start doing interval training starting this week, and to go for a half marathon. That's the next step.
Nice. Good for you, man. That's a huge achievement.
But you just have to keep doing, like you said. You go out and you run. You don't necessarily have to like kill yourself each time, but you just go out and get that hour, and that's part of the training process. Just the repetitive, an hour.
If you enjoy it, you'll do it every day. If you kill yourself, then you'll start like saying, maybe I don't have time today. Yeah. Like that's what I do. Is I don't do any real hard workouts. The hardest workouts I do are when I'm boxing, and that's because if you don't move your head, you get hit.
Yeah. See, I did weightlifting. And like just the normal gym machines,
Sure.
Yeah.
For like a year and a half, and I lost like 20 pounds, and it was the best it was the best shape I've ever been in a long time, Yeah. But I don't know. We hit one big project that I just couldn't go to the gym.
That's what
lunch,
always happens, right? You hit
and
the
then
big
got
project.
Super, and it's like, all right, I don't want to go to the gym anymore.
And then
now it's like I'm just waiting for the gym to open back up so that I can go.
Man, I tell you, I am going to do some other stuff. Like I bought one of those things you attach to the back of your bike. So I got my mountain bike up on a thing now, so I could just jump on it.
Oh, nice.
Those
and
are great.
It's pretty good. It's a magnetic one, so it's nice and smooth. But I'm trying to do some other stuff. But I'm telling you, man, I will swear by that Couch to 5K app. Like, absolutely
I've tried
incredible.
It's like, okay, it's easy. Now run 3 miles. Like, no, I can't do that. What are you talking
it's
about?
3 minutes, but
I need couch to 5K.
Yeah, couch to chair.
Couch to chair.
Yeah, treadmill.
I actually just started cooking for myself, and I actually in the quarantine I lost like 15 pounds because I was too afraid to order food, like with the whole thing going on.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are getting into other hobbies.
I got it.
You what?
Was ordering food.
Oh.
I think that's where I got it.
Yeah.
I'm a degenerate. I've just been lazy. I haven't been doing anything productive with my time in quarantine.
It's funny.
I don't know. It's been nice to at least dabble in some other things. I started and I kind of fell off, but I was drawing a different motion graphics person every week or so, every weekend, and then giving it to that person and saying, okay, now you pick the next person. You
should draw Gavin in shorts with flamingo legs.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Oh my God, I would frame that, man. I would frame that above my bed on the ceiling, so I look at it every morning.
Well,
Last thing you see before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm working on Aaron Covert right now, so I'll suggest to him that he picks you next as the
Yeah.
next person to
yeah.
nominate.
Wait, but that means I have to draw someone, right?
No,
No,
I'm
no.
doing all the
You
drawing.
get to choose
You
the
get to
next
choose
person.
the next person.
And Dave's
Oh,
the
okay, gotcha,
Yeah, yeah.
gotcha. Because I cannot draw at
Yeah.
all.
Neither
Yeah.
can I. That's
Embarrassing and disturbing.
Yeah, mine are looking pretty bad. I'm redoing the one that I did of Zach because I just Corzine because I just feel like I didn't get it right.
I spent like 2 hours on the shading of your upper lip.
Yeah. He looks too goofy.
Classic
He looks
film.
too goofy
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
opinion. I think I made him too goofy. You know, he needs a little more. You know, he's a handsome guy. He needs a little more finesse.
He is. Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
So back to motion graphics.
Oh yes.
Right. That's
What
why
we're
we're
here
here.
Yeah. No, I think it's really great. Everybody is I think not everybody, but a lot of people are at least dabbling in something new. Cooking, drawing, exercise.
Yeah, Chris, have you noticed an uptick in sales lately because of the quarantine?
Okay, so we made it free for April and May.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I mean, the sales had basically gone flat at some point through mid-April when everyone realized it was free, which is kind of what we expected.
Right.
Yeah.
But you'll probably get a big uptick in the next week from people who have gotten used to using it, right?
I mean, I hope so.
Hopefully.
It's tough because people aren't shooting right now. Like my products are
Yeah.
compositing products.
Yeah.
People aren't shooting green screen. People aren't doing things that require a lot of motion tracking. So like, it is what it is. But we're plugging along. We're still doing well. We'll still get sales.
And people
Yeah.
need to remember they can do motion tracking with regular renders too. Sometimes it's not worth
Yeah,
it
it's
to
true.
go through all that trouble. Like I think that's what Ariev did when he did Space video.
Mhm.
I think that the dude's face inside the space helmet was actually tracked to his own. I think what he did is he rendered out a wireframe
interesting.
because it's easier
Huh.
to track a wireframe.
Oh,
that's
that's
so smart.
interesting.
So he
That is a
tracked
good
the
idea.
wireframe instead because if you were to, even if you wanted to, like, you could match it with a camera, but then you're working with like the nulls and all that stuff in After Effects, and sometimes it's just, the simplest way is the easiest. You
Yeah.
know? Throw some
so
lockdown on
interesting.
your render, bro.
Yeah, I've done it.
I mean, I've
Yeah.
used composite brush on renders a lot. Like if I need to change a certain color or something, I'll just use that and swing the color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, or if I forget a pass, like if I forget a render pass or something, it's easy to just grab it with that.
Yeah.
Chris, if you could change anything about After Effects, what would it be?
It would definitely be dynamic linking. You know how in Maya it's really easy to just reference someone's project.
Yeah.
That in After Effects, I want to be able to reference someone else's After Effects project without having to go in there or without having to hard import it.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
yes, how sometimes you're like, oh, I just need that one layer from that other project
Yep.
with those effect
Yep.
settings on it, and then you have to go to that project, strip it down just to that layer, import it into your other project.
Yeah.
Yep. I had to do
So-
that twice this morning.
With Gavin, we had done a lot of screen replacement projects together where I was doing the comp and he was doing the animation on the screen. And I'm like, this is completely
yeah.
unrelated. Like, I wish I could reference this.
Yep,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, can I answer this question next?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Like what you can do in C4D with Mograph. I
Mhm.
wish you could do that in After Effects. Like
Oh, yeah,
anytime
for
I
sure.
have some 2D project and there's like a grid of icons or something and
Yep.
they all need to flip or
There's
rotate,
something
like
that does that, right?
I just do it in C4D.
I just do it in C4D.
But
Yeah.
Matt,
Have you
didn't
looked at
Yeah.
Cavalry?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I still
Oh.
haven't tried it out, but I've heard
It's still
pretty
in
sweet.
beta right now. You
Okay.
know?
What makes it tough is everyone has to move in order for anyone to move.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Even at RGA, like a nuke compositor would have trouble getting around there because we only had 2 licenses at No, maybe we had more, right, Gavin? By the time I was leaving, there was almost no one working in nuke at RGA, so it was like kind of an
I
issue.
don't remember, to be honest. I know
Yeah.
there are a few people who use it there, but I don't know how many licenses there are.
I guess the point is it's tough because sometimes you use the software that's not quite right because it's well adopted by everyone else. It's what they're all using.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's where
yeah.
Cavalry, Cavalry should almost like just make a plugin for After Effects or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Or
See, I just
Video
I'll just-
Copilot should.
I just do it in. I just do it in cinema.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The tools are just so good
Or
there.
Red Giant, or I mean, yeah, I guess that's just how it's
And
gonna
I'm just
be.
familiar with them too, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
it's like combining fields and everything. It's like
Mhm.
it'd be kind of hard to replicate something that powerful in After Effects.
Well, hopefully that's something Maxon and Red Giant can do together.
Yeah.
yeah,
hopefully.
that
You
would be
know?
cool.
Because then they
That
can
would be
bring that
super
into
cool.
what Red Giant's doing and have that same functionality
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, that'd be
yeah.
awesome,
Dude. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
dude.
Dude.
So,
Bro.
Dude.
Dude.
let's.
Whoa.
Alright.
Speaking of questions, let's.
Speaking of questions.
You like the segue? Let's ask
Yeah,
you
that's
some
great.
more questions. Speaking of questions,
Yeah.
Sure.
we're going to do Mograph recommends, and we're going to, and this might take a little bit because we got two of y'all this time. We're going to
Yeah.
ask about some of your favorites of things, and these can be either favorites that are current favorites, you know, at the moment, or overall in general, your whole life. So
All right.
we'll do each one. We'll do Gavin and Chris on each one. So we'll start with your favorite movie.
Favorite movie. So I thought about this. I don't know if I have a favorite movie, but recently, my girlfriend and I were like, why don't we should do like a little film festival on one of these long weekends. Like we should each pick 3 movies, and then every day we'll
Such a
we'll
good
watch
idea.
2 movies.
Oh man.
So
You don't
on
have
top-
kids either, so that's
yeah, exactly. Hey, so I was like, what movies are good, but what haven't you seen? So the 3 I came up with are Mr. Nobody. Have you heard of that one?
Mm-mm.
It's crazy, it's weird, it's artistic, it's bizarre. It'll make you think.
I think I
Very
have heard
strange
of that.
movie.
What is it?
Very weird.
Is
It's
it,
with Jared Leto. Jared Leto. How do you say his name?
yeah.
I don't know.
Is he
Um,
invisible, or am I thinking
no,
of something else?
it's a weird movie. It's kind of hard to describe without
What's it
giving
called
away
again?
like what ends up happening. It's called
So
Mr. Nobody.
familiar.
But it's basically a movie that talks about the idea of choice and making decisions, and if you make a decision, the other decision can't happen anymore. So it goes through all these different ways that his life could pan out, and it's just so bizarre and so artistic, and it'll really make you
So,
think. And I
Similar
like,
like a Run Lola Run type thing.
it's similar but not as structured. Like Run
Okay.
Lola Run is kind of like 3 different versions, and Mr.
Sliding
Nobody
doors?
is just like
Is it like
it's
sliding
all
doors?
over the place.
Okay.
I haven't seen Sliding Doors. The other 2 I was gonna pick were 12 Monkeys and Moon.
Oh, Moon
Um,
is so good.
Moon
Yeah,
is
Moon
so
was
good.
great.
Man,
Yeah.
you know
That's
what?
another one that really makes you think.
I started watching Moon like the first time, and it had been out forever. Everyone had spoke very highly of it, and I just couldn't get into it at first. But then so I didn't finish it. You know, I only got like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes in. But then on my flight back from Iceland, I sat down
okay.
and watched the whole thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a good movie.
So good,
It's
yeah.
so good.
It's a smart movie.
Yeah.
So I love that movie. But yeah.
Chris, what about you?
It's got to be Memento, because
Okay.
Oh no way! I love that movie.
all right.
Yeah,
So
that's
here's
a
the
good
thing
one.
with most films, like you can feel it, you can relate to it, but I feel like you're only ever gonna relate to it like 90% because you're not experiencing it. But to me, Memento was the one film where it basically simulates you having a brain injury because you just simply don't know what had previously happened. They give
Yeah.
you the disability of the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
So
first
good.
time I watched that, it was just you just feel like so helpless and so in his shoes in a way that you never forget that you're sitting on a couch when you're watching these other movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with Memento, it actually disables your brain.
That's
So
such
I
a
loved
good
it.
movie, man.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
so
it's a
glad
good
you
movie.
said that. That's like my favorite movie since high school, to be honest. I think
Yeah.
I've seen that movie 5 or 6 times. Every time I've watched it, I learned something new about the story.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Really,
Yeah, see,
really good.
I've only seen it once, and I really enjoyed
It's all
it.
you need.
Yeah. I was curious if watching it more than once would actually,
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
I was
But now-
afraid it would ruin it. I've only seen it
No,
once.
it's amazing because that's how
Yeah.
it tells the story. Like the next time
Yeah.
you watch it, you have more context, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, that's what this is about.
Yeah.
It's
That
really
was-
interesting.
That was the way
Good
it
movie.
was with Westworld season 1 when I watched that. Like I was
Yeah.
confused at the
Still haven't seen
end.
it. I still haven't seen Westworld.
Yeah, and then watching it through the second time, I was like, okay, I'm starting to get this a little bit more. Yeah.
Did,
So-
Didn't somebody put together Memento like in the correct order. Like
I
a
think
cut.
I think on the DVD extras,
It's like the
you can
worst thing
watch
you
it
could do to a
in-
film.
I know.
I
I think
know.
you could watch it in chronological order.
Interesting.
Just out of curiosity. I mean, you definitely
Yeah,
want to
I
watch
watch.
it the right
Yeah,
way
just out of
first.
curiosity.
Yeah.
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 All right, let's talk about music now.
Music. Oh man. So music is so weird now because I feel like I used to have favorite artists, favorite albums, and now it's just like this endless stream of stuff that's recommended to you and your daily discover and everything. And
Mhm.
so now I just have like playlists of stuff that I like, and I don't even like remember the artist's name.
Dude,
just,
I was
like,
gonna-
a big playlist of stuff.
Yes, I was going to say the exact same thing. It's that you're like, oh, I like this on Spotify, and you hit like,
Yeah.
and then you go back
exactly.
into that list, and then you realize I know this song really well, and I have no idea who the artist is.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's so weird.
Yeah, or
so weird.
you'll catch yourself humming the song or humming the tune
Yeah.
that you have on a playlist that has just been like,
You don't know
it's
the
on your
name of
daily
it.
drive. Yeah.
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 And you're like, I don't
And
know what
and
it
then you
is.
have to
I don't know how
Google
find it.
search the lyrics that you half know
Yeah.
to try and figure
Yeah.
out who it is. You know?
Yep.
It's funny.
Oh man, but in terms of genres, I guess like trip hop and electronic stuff, and I like future funk, which is kind of the stuff that's in the videos that I make usually. It's like weird, sort of sometimes Japanese inspired like disco remixes. It's really energetic. So I also love metal. I love like Meshuggah and that whole genre of metal, and
Mhm.
I like jazz too. A little of everything. I don't know. I have kind of
Yeah.
a weird relationship with music.
Yeah. I don't remember who I was talking to the other day, or maybe it was last week on the podcast. I was talking about with music. It used to be you'd go to a record store
Yes.
and or like a CD store, and like you'd be like, oh man, there's a new album, or like I don't have this album that
Mhm.
came out 3 years prior.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to find that one specific song by Nirvana, that wasn't on any of their main records, that was on like a random B-side from England 20 years ago or something like that,
Yeah.
you'd have to keep on going back to the CD
Yeah,
store in
yeah.
order to see if it's eventually there, like if
Mhm.
someone traded it in, but now it's just like, oh, I want that song, type it in and I'm good. I don't know.
Yeah. It's very.
How did
different
we
now.
live?
How
I
did
know.
How did we live?
Could you guys imagine a pandemic before the internet?
Oh man.
Oh, I was talking about that the other day. I was like, it would
Probably
be
very
Yeah.
different.
Oh
Gosh,
man,
it would be different.
you wouldn't know what's going on unless you listen to the radio or watch TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to I guess learn to whittle. I don't know.
Yeah.
What else do you
Yeah,
do?
you have to learn to whittle. There's nothing
Yeah.
else to do but whittling.
All the fax machines would be sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this could
And the
be a
soap
whole.
from
This
the
could be a
whittling.
whole video. Like this could be like a little funny short about
Yeah.
Corona 1986.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, COVID
That's fine. It
89.
would be a different time.
COVID 89.
Yeah, no, that's what it would be called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
pretty
you
good.
might have access to Prodigy. Maybe
Oh, yeah.
maybe a little IRC action. You know.
Right.
IRC. Oh my god.
I mean, was AIM around even at that point? Who knows?
AIM was.
Was
Yeah.
AIM? Could you get the
Yeah.
CDs yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I bet AOL would have totally given you some extra hours, more than just 1,000 hours.
Oh my god.
It's like get
That's funny.
2,500 hours for Corona.
Yeah. Oh my god. I remember all those CDs.
Yeah.
I remember a picture. Somebody made a throne out of them. Like it was like hundreds of thousands of CDs.
Oh, yeah.
They built a giant king's throne. It's
Dude,
crazy.
every month you would get a CD in the mail.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
didn't
that's
even ask
nuts.
for it. Like everybody just got a CD in the mail and said, "Here." They would send me a free coaster every month.
Yeah.
Right now, CDs don't even exist. Who has a CD?
I know.
Oh. Mine are all sitting in a box in my attic. Just,
Yeah.
And my DVDs.
That was such a great marketing ploy.
It was.
Yeah.
Just
Give away your
give away your software in everybody's mailbox literally every month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, it's free. Have it.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, okay.
Man,
It's funny.
genius. What
Yeah.
happened to that? All right.
Chris, music.
Music?
I think I hit the same kind of thoughts as you guys did, that you don't even know who you're listening to. It's just what plays because you're not choosing anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's basically the radio, just
Exactly.
much more tailored to your own likes.
Yeah, I lean towards rock, I guess I would say, but now I don't even know most of the artists on there. It's
Yeah.
that's so strange because I had never thought about that.
Yeah.
right? Isn't that
Yeah.
weird?
Yeah, that's weird. That's real weird.
Surreal.
Do the two of you listen to music while you're working, or is that something that's difficult? You know,
Headphones, yeah, probably.
I do. I listen to music while I'm working.
I do, but whenever I get really focused, I pause it and just stare angrily.
yeah, yeah.
Like, where is this error?
It can be a distraction. I feel like if you were especially
Yeah.
doing code, I feel like it could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's sometimes it's easy to have some nice chill hop on and be creative, but like
Totally.
if somebody is like
And
talking
when
in
you're
your ear and
doing
you're trying
code,
to
you just do
program,
the hacker's soundtrack, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
yeah.
It's Prodigy, the Matrix
Prodigy,
soundtrack. Yeah.
What about TV show? That's the next one.
TV shows. My favorite show is Black Mirror. I think
Yeah.
that's just very thought-provoking and really relevant in terms of what's going on in the world and what's going to happen in 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
It's very. I just like how thought-provoking it is. I like after an episode, you can just sit with your friends and talk about it for hours. You know, because it just raises so many good
Some
ideas.
are so messed up.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
all
Oh, yeah.
so messed
Like
up.
the one, the episode where it was basically like a Siri, or not a Siri, like an Alexa equivalent, where they basically downloaded your consciousness at you as yourself,
Yeah.
like, and then just like they sped up time to where she was in this purgatory thing for like 6 months,
yeah.
you know, until she would basically just be submissive. It's like, oh
That's
gosh,
crazy.
awful. No thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they throw out a lot of really, really brilliant ideas in that show, and it's stuff that could happen in our lifetimes. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's stuff that could be like these things could happen. They could be real things that happen. you
Yeah.
know. Could be real issues we have to face, real ethical questions.
is. There it
What?
is. Thanks, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin, yeah, we missed you last week.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad or The Wire?
Yeah. Always got to bring up Breaking
Always
Bad or The
gotta bring
Wire.
that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris.
You know, I loved Game of Thrones until the last season. I don't want to take us down that whole avenue there, but that was my
Uh-huh.
favorite.
Yeah.
I like to watch the shows where I don't have to think. I'm kind of the opposite of Gavin. I don't like the social implications. I don't like the dread. Like, tell me a story, take me away.
Yeah.
Yeah, make you
I
feel
mean,
good.
these days I'm watching Walking Dead.
Oh, that's another great one where it's just like whatever. You just watch it, you enjoy
I've never
it.
seen it, and my girlfriend was like, "Oh my god, we got to watch Walking Dead!" Like, because the coronavirus happened, like we were like, "Oh my god, let's watch all these pandemic things." We watched Contagion, we watched 28 Days Later, and we started
Why
watching
would
Walking
you?
Dead.
Why? Why would
Just
you
to,
want to
like,
put yourself through
To
that
get
stress?
stoked, be like, "Okay, we got to mentally prepare and like get ready for the
It's
apocalypse."
still kind of silliness though. Like Walking Dead,
Oh,
you can never
yeah.
take it too seriously.
Oh, maybe
And the quality bar is up and down and up and down. It's like they'll have like
Definitely
great
up and down.
episodes and then just the worst.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There were a lot of times where we're like, okay, after the episode, like we got to stop watching this. This is just so stupid. It's like a cartoon.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh wait, but what happens to Negan? And,
Hmm.
so, but yeah, so we're watching that now. But that's a kind of a mindless show. It's pretty silly.
Is The Walking Dead still on the air?
Somehow,
I think so.
Yeah.
Really?
It's still on.
See,
thought it was over
I
with.
I was with I think The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones started about the same time, or within like a year or two of each other.
Yeah.
And I'm of the mindset where I don't like watching television in real time. I enjoy binging it.
yeah.
And
Yes.
with one that is
Yeah, you don't wanna
so
wait anymore.
highly praised, I don't want to invest my time unless there's an excellent payoff. So like Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
nope, not gonna watch it. Don't even care. In fact, the only episode I've ever watched, or the only 2 episodes, was the very first one and the very last one.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Very
what
well.
happens in between.
You don't want a lost
know?
experience.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
It burns
Yeah.
me so hard.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh,
Emotional
man.
damage.
yeah. So like The Walking Dead is another one, because I
Yeah.
heard that first season was just absolutely incredible TV. You know,
Yeah.
but then
Good.
my dad, who's a big zombie fan, watches everything zombie. Is just like, oh, I'm not watching this show anymore. You know.
Yeah.
So
I'm getting there, but now I'm just almost at the end, so it's like
You
Yeah.
gotta finish.
just gotta
Yeah.
finish it. Oh, it's
Yeah.
so long. It is so stupid.
yeah.
It is so good.
So, what's next, Dave?
All right, next up, that would be podcast. If you listen to podcast,
Podcasts. To be honest, I don't really listen to that many podcasts. I don't listen to any podcasts. I checked out Dr. Death a while ago, and that was really terrifying and awful.
What's
What is
Dr.
that?
Death?
Dr. Death. It's about a guy who's a doctor who basically just like maimed patients in surgery and got away with it. Like,
Oh, a true story type thing.
it's a
right?
true story.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
So bad.
I think I heard about that.
Why did he do that?
Because he's a psychopath. He was just like not totally trained properly, but he was a doctor, and then he started just butchering his patients, and they would wake up and they'd be paralyzed, and they couldn't touch him because he was a doctor and protected by malpractice stuff, and it was, he was protected by like it's an error, it's an accident, so
Yeah.
he was off the hook for a while. He would just leave the hospital, go to a different one, and
Oh my gosh.
and then eventually he got caught, but it's an awful story, but it's fascinating.
Wow.
But it was like
Dang.
6 episodes or something, so that's horrible and interesting if you're into that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
Chris, do you listen to any podcasts?
I haven't in a long time, but the last book I read was Masters of Doom, and that was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That's a
I'm not
great
sure how
book.
accurate it all was, but it was just interesting from the business perspective and from the tech perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great book.
Yeah.
Really good book.
All right, now we'll go into plugin territory. Now we're going to
cool.
exclude renders from this.
All right.
Uh-oh.
No render.
All right, we know
no
the
render.
first two, but we'll skip over those, right, Gavin?
Yeah. Lockdown, CB,
All right.
it's the best.
All right, we're done with that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
No, so...
Plugins.
Oh, Neat Video. That's my number one.
Neat Video is
Okay,
a
yeah,
good one.
that's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I mean, you can't live without it.
Yeah, I use that in my renders sometimes. The Octane denoiser is pretty good, but sometimes Neat Video just does it a little better.
Yes.
And does Mocha count as a plugin?
I would
I
say
don't
it does.
know.
Okay, then Mocha for me.
Yeah. I would say
Yeah.
it does. See, I don't
Cool.
like rendering out my Octane renders denoised already. And I don't like rendering out
Yeah.
unless I know it's going to look good the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would
Yep.
rather render them with noise and then Neat Video it.
Yep. Usually what I do is I'll render out the regular pass and the denoise pass,
Mhm.
and then just see what works. Sometimes the denoise is great. Sometimes I sort of blend between the two to
I
get a
do the
little noise to
blending.
break up the glitchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I just denoise it with Neat Video. It just kind of depends on the scene.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Neat Video is temporal, right? Temporal.
Yeah.
Temporal.
Temporal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, yeah, but it also has some spatial. If you get into the controls, you can do a lot of spatial stuff with the different blendings per frequency. That's the one thing that I think what they really need to do is they need to take their frequency separation stuff and expose all of that, and that would make for a sick plugin.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Expose it
Understood
in
some of those
in
words.
what way?
So basically, they break up the video into 6 different layers at different detail frequencies, right? And you can
There you
change
go.
it. You can change the different sliders for the amount of blur, and that's essentially what's removing the noise, right?
I guess.
Sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You guys have never got that deep in a Neat Video, then? Okay.
No.
I
If you
No,
can take-
I do
hit
remember
auto-tune,
messing with some of the.
And then I'm
those-
like, okay, that looks good. Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember
no,
mess.
so
I
what-
did
yeah.
mess with some of the fine controls back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the way it works is it breaks the image into 6 different buffers at different frequencies for those breaking up into little patterns. And if you could expose all 6 of those so you could see them and then comp them and then recombine them back into the original image, that would be even more useful than denoising.
Mm.
I mean, you could take a look at my face. You could have a flat pass of just the pores and then a pass that's just the gradient of the skin. You could just break that apart. Neat Video is already doing that. They're just not exposing those controls
Right.
or the
Okay.
layers
That's
rather.
really interesting.
Yeah. Could be
Oh.
really useful for all sorts of compositing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Otoy says that they are planning to, in the chat, says they're planning to add
Oh.
exactly this kind of style transfer to the post effect system. I'm assuming that's Jules talking. So,
What's up,
All
Jules?
right.
what's up, Jules?
Cool.
Um,
Cool.
all right. And any other plugins, Gavin? Any other?
Let's see. To be honest, I don't use that many plugins. I'll use particulars sometimes, but I've tried to. It's weird. I guess I've tried to avoid using plugins because I have this fear I'll go to a studio and don't have it, and then I have this
Yeah.
crutch, and I can. So I've just always not used plugins or scripts or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually I use trap code stuff but just because everyone always has that.
Oh, natural. That's
yeah. Other than that,
Yeah.
no, I don't have much in the way of plugins.
cool.
I don't know X particles. I got to learn that.
That's a
That's one
good
where
one.
I feel like learning it would be really worth it. Because you can do some cool stuff with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I can
Oh
only
man, I
imagine.
can't wait to see our flamenco loops with X particles.
Dude, doing a loop with X particles, I can only imagine that would get very hairy. Trying to figure out
just
how
do
to
a
make...
cross dissolve between the two.
Yeah, just
right?
call it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cross dissolve.
Yeah, cross dissolves at that point.
Now, what about headphones? Y'all geek out on headphones at all, or it's just whatever?
I don't. I found these
I do.
headphones before. These were from a Norwegian Airlines flight, and that's what I'm
Alright.
using. Because
That's
I
funny.
just use speakers. But
I don't know where they are. I have a pair of Turtle Beach headphones for my Xbox, and they're just the cheapest, best headphones that I've used.
That's funny.
Turtle Beach.
Turtle
Is that
Beach.
the
Yeah.
brand? Okay.
They're great.
Sweet.
Cool.
And what are you wearing now? Is that what you're wearing now?
No, actually. So I'm just using this was. It's a long story, but because of the length of cords in my house, the Turtle Beach one wasn't long enough. So I have a USB extension cord. And well, that's just the only way I could actually get a pair of headphones from my computer to my head was with the USB headset. So
That's
here we
funny.
are. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
You don't want to see my living room right now, man. There's lights, there's computers, there's
Green
cameras.
screen
Like,
and yeah.
Green screen. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah.
That's how this room looks right now. This room goes back and forth between a production studio and a living room. Like, it's so weird. And when it's
My
decked
office is
out,
pretty clean right
you
now.
can't even walk through it. It's just all cables
Yeah.
and green, and there's now I'm just getting more and more gear and lights. I got the new lights, by the way.
Yeah.
The one
nice.
Matt you've been talking about. I should
Yeah.
have brought the other
So
one in
what's
here
the
to show it.
brand are on them? I
Oh.
don't even know the
Oh.
brand.
Oh,
It's-
I want to read
What?
you the instructions. Did you ever read the instructions that came with these?
No.
Oh my
No.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh, is that you sent a picture of it
Yes.
the other day?
Yes,
to,
yeah.
to all of
All
us.
right.
Yeah.
Here are the notes. Here, let me show you the light
So
first.
it's
I'll
a
just
really,
take it down.
It's a cool light. It's a very cool light. I like it, and it's only like so. My brother recommended it. It was $65, and you've got
It's so
total
cheap.
control over like your color temperature. From 3200 to 5600 Kelvin, and you can change your brightness as well. It plugs in, and it's got a battery. It's insane. It's insanely good for
Yeah.
a $65 light. See, I mean, that's all it is.
So it's
And
very,
it tells
very
it has a
thin.
little digital readout.
Oh yeah, it's really thin.
It looks like an
Yes.
iPad. That's the thing. It
Right.
I
looks
lost my video feed like a half hour ago, so I believe you.
Oh.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, the temperature control is really cool. First of all,
Oh,
it's
cool,
messing
yeah.
with my green screen, but you can actually see. Hold on, I'll bring it up here, so you can see it actually like has
Yeah.
the percentage of brightness
yeah.
and,
Lino.
and
Oh, that's
whatever.
cool.
all the controls over. Like if I bring it down, change the color temperature, make it real warm
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Nice.
Man, and it lasts like an hour and a half on battery power, which is really
On
good.
battery.
sweet.
It's got battery, and you can plug it in,
And you can
which
plug
is
it in.
awesome.
So I have it plugged in
You
on
know?
the stand over here.
And so yeah,
Very
I've got one on each side of me, and it's like $56. And they like most lights have been out. You haven't been able to find any good lights that unless
Yeah.
you want to pay a lot of money, and they just recently became back in stock. I don't know.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's
So,
nice. I'm not
the
using it for the
instructions.
green screen. It's
Yeah,
not bright enough
yeah.
for the green screen. I still got this giant ring light. That's why you
Yeah.
see all the shininess on my head. Shiny.
Shiny.
So
So the instructions.
the instructions. Okay, so
Yeah,
I was going through the box. I was like, you get stuff. I'm the type of person where I will get the thing, and I will take everything out of the box that I don't need. I'll keep the box, but I'll put only the pieces I need in there. So I go through it. I'm like, do I need the instructions? No, probably not. Let's just check them out to make sure, because I could always get the PDF. But I'm going to make sure there's nothing I need in these instructions. So I open the instructions, and I go to read this. And here are the notes on this light. Number 1, the soft light is not dustproof, waterproof function.
What?
Okay. Number 2, the soft light belongs to Precision Instruments. Please do not make lambency lamp fell to the ground, collision, or a strong shock. Okay.
Yeah, don't do
Pretty
that.
good. Pretty
Then you
good.
got working
Definitely don't do
temperature.
that.
Of course, it's in Celsius. And then number 4.
I didn't even see that. It's in Celsius instead of Kelvin. Oh, man.
And then let's see, what else do we have? Please do
Oh,
not.
the working temperature. Okay, I misunderstood.
Oh
that.
no,
I
no, yeah,
misunderstood
not the
that.
color temperature. Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought they were trying to say the color temperature.
In Celsius,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Number
yeah.
number 4. Please do not cover ring vents. Otherwise, may make internal temperature rise and cause a fire or accident, which may cause an accident in the soft light.
Soft light.
Number 5.
Accident may cause accident.
Yeah.
And I think this is, number 5. Please do not long time look straight into the shiny surface of the soft light, otherwise may be visually impaired. Okay.
Okay.
Please do not place the soft light near combustible solvent, otherwise may cause fire or smoke. Be sure to switch off after using the soft light. Yeah. Do not put soft light into storage box immediately after use. The residual heat may damage the LED light. Only the soft light is fully cooled. Can it be placed in the box?
It's pretty good.
Can it?
That's
it?
classic. I like please do not
Yeah.
long
That is
time look
classic.
straight at the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Accident may cause accident,
when you're in quarantine,
Just
it's
like
the little
they always
things.
say. It's the little things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we have on the list? Favorite app for both of you?
Oh, I got a good one.
What is it?
I'm about to pull it up.
Oh boy.
It's Rap Horn, isn't it?
Yes. Second favorite app.
What is
The
it?
the autofocus button there for my camera.
Oh.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Ooh.
Nice, right?
Yeah.
So useful.
I'm
What
actually.
camera? Oh, is that the? You're using a Blackmagic camera?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, that's cool.
Which Blackmagic camera?
Just the 4K.
4K. Yeah, I got that app that controls. 'Cause on the 6K, if you have the EF lenses, it can actually remote control the focus, and that is so good to have when it's just you operating
It's so
your own
useful,
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like almost impossible. I have a ceiling fan that was my stand-in that I'd just bring it in over here and put it down and
Right.
then focus in it and then like come back and yeah.
Yeah. That's
But
how
it's so
I used
nice
to do
because
it.
like what if I want to move backwards, Like there we go.
Yeah, then you're like, okay, which way do I have to pull the focus? And you go up there and you turn
Right.
it and you sit back down. You're
Yeah.
like, went the wrong way. Yeah,
It's got
really
some other
cool.
stuff in here too. I can change the color temperature and all that junk and
Yeah.
well, I'm not going to mess with it right now.
Yeah, probably not. a good
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
idea. But yeah, there's some great controls. I wish that it would actually stream the video to your device too.
Oh, that'd be
That
cool.
would be nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe someday. But
Gavin, what about
Yeah.
you?
I'm trying to think. Let me see what apps I have on my phone. I
Icy
made an,
Heights.
I was gonna say I made an app. Can I plug my app?
yeah,
Sure.
totally.
What is it?
I made a game a few years ago called Icy Heights, and you're a penguin and you can jump up on platforms.
Uh-huh.
I learned Unity and everything, and I made
Wow.
like $20 from it. So it was not a great investment, but it was a fun learning experience.
You're
And
about to.
now,
You're about
now-
to make $20 more.
Yes, and now I don't have an iPhone, so I can't even play it. So
Oh, that's,
Well, that's
funny.
fun.
that's the end of that story.
There it
Oh yeah,
is.
there it
There
is.
it is.
How about that? All the reviews, I'm pretty sure, are from my family and friends.
You got 22 reviews. This
Yeah.
icy game
So-
is hot.
Ooh, that's good. I like that.
Well,
Nice review. It's
Thanks,
fresh.
Court B275.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I have any apps.
You can make it a Flamingo app now.
Yeah, next is going to be a Flamingo app, I guess.
Wait, how did you make money off of it?
There are ads in the game, and you can also buy. You can buy like more lives if you run out of lives or something like that.
Gotcha.
Gavin and I always
That's how
said
they
one
get
day
you.
we're gonna make a VR game in his Flamingo world. We just
Oh,
never.
love that.
Oh, man.
But our lives are too chaotic right now.
Yeah. Oh my God, an Unreal 5, dude. If we made a
Yeah.
Flamingo game,
One of these
Yes.
days, dude,
Like
we are
puzzles.
gonna do it. We're definitely gonna do it. I just need like
I would love it.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
it needs to be that whole MC Escher loopable universe
Exactly,
thing
Yeah, dude.
with
Yeah.
the
Some
flamingos.
kind of like some kind of puzzle
A
thing.
puzzle
like,
thing through the loops.
Yeah.
like Monument Valley. You played that game?
Yes, that is
Yeah.
a great
Yeah,
game.
Like in the same spirit of that, or of Portal. I love Portal 2.
Yeah.
Some kind of. I wish I could come up with an idea that like it makes you think in a way where you've never thought that way before.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's why Portal stood out to me so much. It's like, oh my God, I never even considered this. So
I've been playing that with my daughter to show her what Portal was like. I'm like, you're gonna love Portal.
It's so good.
And she said
So
the
good.
same
And guys,
thing to me. She said,
Isn't-
my brain hurts when you play Portal. It makes your brain hurt, right?
It makes your brain hurt.
Yeah. What were you saying, Chris?
Now, I think Otoy was watching, right? Weren't they putting Octane into Unity? I wasn't sure how far along it got because I haven't been.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's there.
Yeah.
It's,
Yes.
It's in Unity and Unreal, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really been into the 3D stuff lately because I've been doing these comp plugins, but that's exciting.
And then there's also their Brigade thing, which I haven't looked too much into yet, but I've seen demos of it, and it looks like Octane at 60 frames a second. So I don't really know how that's possible, but
that's
pretty
nuts.
amazing.
Yeah, you should go check out
insane.
Jules's interview from a few weeks ago because he talks a
I'll
lot
look at
about
it.
all this. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It looks really exciting.
I'm excited about what they're doing.
Gavin, you're gonna drag me back into this world soon. We're gonna make something. I've been out of it for a while.
It's okay, me too, man. I've been making flamingo loops for some reason.
I've just been tracking. I've been watching little blue points.
Yeah.
Follow video.
Yeah.
It's funny.
There we go.
All right, last one. The most difficult question is your favorite life hack.
Life hack. Oh my God.
Chris, I feel like you've got a good one.
I don't know. I mean, I was just gonna say take more naps, but
Good
no,
life
I
hack.
don't know.
Yeah.
A life hack.
I got hacks for a lot of little things. Like I got a lot of tips for all the things that I do, but a general life hack, I don't know.
Yeah, well, what Mitch Myers always says is you put the toaster on its side to make some bomb-ass grilled cheese. That's a good life hack.
Oh shit!
Does that
That's a
work,
pretty
or does
good
that just destroy your toaster?
I've
I'm
tried
afraid
it.
of doing that.
I
don't
tried
think
it.
it'll work.
I did it in the Airbnb we were at in LA, and it worked great.
All right, well, if we're doing cooking tips, I do have one, and Gavin knows because Gavin has been here for this.
Tell him how to make a quesadilla, Chris.
Damn it, Gavin! Yes, obviously it's gonna be how you make a quesadilla.
Okay.
Basically, you gotta take the flour tortilla, you coat the pan in olive oil and very finely minced garlic flakes.
Okay.
And then you fry it pretty fast and make it crunchy, so the outer layer is crunchy, but then the inner it's still like a soft foldable tortilla.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's just a pro tip. That's the best way to do kind of like a slightly fried tortilla there.
When I saw Chris make a tortilla, make a quesadilla, I thought he was insane. Because what he does is he has the pan, he puts the oil on it, it's off. He puts the tortilla on the pan that's off, and then he turns it on like a psychopath, and it makes a perfect quesadilla.
It was the best damn quesadilla you ever
was so
had.
good,
Okay,
yeah.
ever.
Cheese
Really good.
in there already?
Yeah, it's all ready to go. The meat is pre-cooked, and actually, I know that this is I might get a lot of hate for this. Little bit of cinnamon in the hamburger, just a little bit.
And the hamburger.
Wait, hamburger?
A little bit, or beef, whatever.
Or okay,
Wait,
for the beef quesadilla.
The beef, yeah.
Oh, it's a
Beef quesadilla, just a little
Gross,
bit.
But okay.
No, you got to try it, Gavin. You tell him.
It's good. Yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked and bewildered, but it's
Got
definitely
tasted egg and
delicious.
cinnamon.
Yeah.
You got to do so little
Did a
that they
good
don't
job.
know it's there, though. That's the trick.
Yeah.
If you taste it, you
So
ruin
little that you can't taste it at all. Almost as if there were no cinnamon in it at all.
it. No, but
Right.
it sweetens it. I'm telling you, there's a difference with and without.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys, I'm gonna have to make you quesadillas, okay? Next time you come to New York,
Good.
we're not gonna meet at a bar like normal people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quesadilla party.
You're just. I'm dragging you guys into the apartment, and I'm gonna make you witness this cooking.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Sounds so good. I'm ready, man.
Man, I'm hungry.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Let's get out of
so
here so that we can go eat some lunch.
You got
All
any?
right.
You got anything, Gavin? You got any life hack? for
Life
us?
hacks?
Yeah.
I don't know. Get sleep. Don't avoid that. Just
I already said naps, Gavin.
Look, this is what it is. Go to bed and get up at the same time every day,
Yeah.
and then you won't be tired.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, it's 8 hours, and then they offset their schedule. No, every day, same time, you'll be good. Even on the weekends, don't shift it that much.
I'm really
That's
bad about
life-changing.
that.
I'm up at 7 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
I'm just failing, guys. I'm just failing.
it's going to sleep part that gets me. I get up about the same time, and that's the problem. Is that I'll go to bed at 12 or I'll go to bed at 4. You know,
Sure.
and I'll still get up at 9. I'm like, why am I tired? I got up at 9 like usual. Oh, I went to bed at 4.
Yeah.
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 Whoops.
Or having a newborn. of
Yeah.
midnight.
Mhm.
Last night it was midnight, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock,
Oh,
and 7.
jeez.
You'll get in the groove
Yeah.
soon. You're getting
So
close.
that's-
No,
that life hack-
he's been fine. He's absolutely been fine. You know, it's just the past like week or so, we're trying to wean him off the swaddling and stuff, and it's awful. Yeah, and we've been feeding him, actual
Quesadillas.
food now. Yeah,
Quesadillas.
Yeah.
Every day.
Make
With
sure to put
cinnamon.
that cinnamon. He doesn't like
Yeah.
the cinnamon.
Quesadillas.
But when
So
you
help me
add the
God,
right amount
guys.
of
I'm gonna
cinnamon,
do a video on this. I'm gonna spread this to the world.
Please
Like
do.
this is
Please
where I quit.
do.
This is where I quit making plugins, and I'm just gonna make quesadillas.
That's what we need. a
Making
Chris
some
Vranos
tasty
quesadilla
videos.
tutorial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should release a quesadilla tutorial on your channel.
Damn it!
Like a
Everyone
Garth
doubts. Everyone doubts it. I'm telling you. I've never had someone try it and not be like, God damn, that's really good.
that would be really funny. Is just like a tutorial channel on like Cinema 4D. Just all
Yeah,
of a
and then-
sudden
yeah.
there's one
With a
cooking
random
thing.
cooking one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Do it.
All right.
Oh, I have another life hack.
All right.
All right.
Read on the train. That's
Okay.
it. Because everyone's like, I
Fair.
don't have time for read, and I didn't have time to read, and then I
Mhm.
just started reading on my commute, like 30 minutes each way,
Yeah.
and I've read like 25 books each year.
Wow.
Because
Jeez.
just that hour a day just adds up. It adds up so
Yeah.
much, and you can do
Yeah.
it. So that's where I find my reading.
But what do
time.
you do now?
I like the first few months. I was like, oh my god, I've only read like 2 books this year.
Yeah.
Like normally I'd be up to a little stack, but no. So now I've had to intentionally put in the time to read. So
Yeah.
it's been more difficult, but I'm making it happen.
Just read on the toilet.
Yeah,
know?
there you go. An hour a day.
Yeah.
At least 6 hours every day.
6 hours every day. Just read on the toilet. You'll read a book a day. It's fantastic. Highly recommend it.
We got the train going with Chris. We got the leaf blowers going
Yeah.
with me.
New York City.
They're coming. They're getting
Yeah.
close. It's getting louder. I hear them coming.
Literally an hour before this call, there was a guy with a leaf blower right outside my window. I was like, please leave soon.
You would have had to come over here.
Yeah, I would have had to just come over there
That's funny.
with masks and all.
This happens to me every week. Every week.
Yeah.
They started
I
like
hear it
7
now.
a.m.
Yeah.
and then they're going all day outside my window. What
Yeah.
could you possibly be blowing around my window all day?
Leaves, I guess.
Leaves?
Leaves.
There's nobody out there
They
to
just
enjoy
come over
it.
and blow the leaves
It's
in a
no one
different
doing-
position every week.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna wrap it up. Let's talk about
right.
where.
Thanks y'all for being on the show.
Yeah, we really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Thanks for having us.
me. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for having us.
We want to let everybody know where they can find you online, what your handles are, and whatnot. Gavin, you're not on Twitter, are you?
I do not have a Twitter.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'm
'cause I
very
couldn't find
sorry. Yeah.
you. What are you on?
Instagram. That'd be where to follow me if you want updates, and also YouTube. That's where I put tutorials up.
Okay. And-
So Instagram and YouTube, the name is Shapiro500
Mhm.
on both of those.
And Shapiro500.com.
Yes, Shapiro500.com has a link to both of those, and then you can also have the BJ visuals to use as you please.
Cool.
Cool.
And Chris, what about you?
I mean, I guess, my product page is the most relevant, which is ascripts.com/lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do have a Twitter. I'm not very good at it, but I've been using it a lot more often lately.
Yeah.
And I have an Instagram, but like some people have complained, like, dude, like your Instagram will have like a lot of like software stuff, and then it's just like you hiking. I'm like, no, I didn't make 2. I don't want a separate page like for myself
have
and for my
2.
lockdown.
I have to.
I should.
I
I
have
don't know.
to. I just made a new one just for, so I could have the separation there. Same with Twitter. I'm Mograph Dave on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
People want to give me a follow. I don't really have a lot of follows on there yet. I just kind of made it and didn't really announce it to anyone. So, yeah. So you don't have a website, a specific like .com for your company. Do you have a company name? I guess.
I was so lazy. I just called it Vranos LLC, and I think
Okay.
the other members of the family are pissed about that.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
That's great.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we're
You
gonna...
own the trademark Vranos.
Yep. I'm keeping it. I'll fight him in court for it.
Nice.
That's funny.
Nice.
All right. So
Well, your family can show prior use. You know,
Right, yeah,
before
yeah.
you were born.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I'm in trouble.
yeah, I used to have my old website when it was just me doing solo work, and I called it Cawsome because I had a friend who used to say that's not even awesome, that's Cawsome. And then my mom like totally hijacked it from me. Like she started using it in her class, and her kids said we're a awesome class. I'm like, all right, I can't use it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. You can rate us on iTunes. Leave a review. It helps get our ratings up. You can also subscribe on your podcatcher of choice. Remember to sign up for that newsletter. We're gonna be putting out some. I guess something this week. I'm hoping you can get a little bit of a look ahead on who's going to be on the show, who's been on the show if you've missed out, just other things that are going on, articles, stuff like that. So sign up and find out. You also get like announcements on, when classes and things come out. We're also going to have a sign up page coming pretty soon, specifically for people who just want to get information when a class is going to be released, get a little more information on that. That should be posted here in the next couple days. What else? You can say you've been there, done that, got the t-shirt with the Mograph logo tee, the Paul Babb Feel the Bab t-shirt. All the profits from that go to Doctors Without Borders. And we've got the Render Things t-shirt, hoodie, and long sleeve tee, which are very comfy. And last but not least, we've got the That Render is Fire shirt, which you can only wear ironically. And we know that there's some issues with Amazon merch right now, so you may or may not be able to get all of these shirts, but we're just going to keep the pages up because eventually it'll all be back up and running. Hopefully we can get some new shirts out. Right now you can't put any new shirts up because of they're just running
We got to do the Dat Money, though.
Dat Money
Dat
Dough
Money
shirt.
Dough.
Yeah.
Dat Money Dough.
And that about wraps it up. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Mograph.com. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and get all the updates for all of that kind of stuff, including the new stuff we're going to be rolling out, Mograph.com/TV, which there's only that one video there, like some podcast frags as a placeholder for now, but there's going to be more stuff over there eventually. So we're going to take off. Till next time, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Chris.
Have a good one.
Later, yo.
Thank you.
Still live, by the way.
Yeah, we're still live. Hold on a second.
What was that? 235?
2:35.